Sean Fennessey.
I'm Amanda Dobbins.
And this is The Big Picture, a conversation show about Daniel Day-Lewis. Today on the show, Amanda and I will build a shrine to the man many believe to be the finest actor of his generation. Joining us to do so, one of the finest podcasters of his generation.
Absolutely
From Blank
not.
Check,
No.
David Sims. Let's go.
And
Hi,
the winner.
everybody. Yes.
The winner of the most recent draft.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here for your victory lap. We didn't plan this, but we sort of did.
Well, we planned like a week of us all together.
Yes.
Like we're
Beautiful.
having, this is my second of 4 encounters with at least one of you guys. I did win.
Yeah.
I did win. I did not think I was not playing to win.
But everyone I spoke to afterwards was like, I got to be honest, I voted for David. That's not true. But
Dude.
my friends voted for me, but everyone else voted for
My
you.
own niece and sister
came
looked
up
me
to
in
me.
the eye and said, I did not vote for you. I voted for David.
You went very male.
I did.
I think inadvertently. And you had
it was inadvertently.
Well, sure, but you had like maybe not quite enough diversity.
That's true.
Of
I just kind of blinked a couple times and I was like, Scorsese. Like I couldn't really, I couldn't think out of it.
Yeah.
I was talking about it like it's like it was an overwhelming, like too many choices.
There was a lot of choices.
Yeah.
It was maybe too broad a palette, but you know what? It was a very
Right.
fun draft. It was
Very
a great
fun
live
draft.
show.
And
Thank you to everyone who
Yes.
came. That was amazing. Thank you to everybody who helped put it
you
on.
and Griffin for
You
being
and-
part of it. I
I mean,
should have
thank
brought
you
you
for
a
having us.
crown now to be wearing.
Yeah, I know.
I was sad I didn't have one in the moment.
People kept being like, "What did you win?" And I'm like, "Nothing. Just
Yeah.
glory. Just
a
cred."
12-block walk to a bar that you did not enter. That's what you won.
That's. Look, man,
You missed
that's
some jams.
That's some father
Listen.
of 3 business where I just took one look at that bar and I was like, you know what? I enjoyed the walk. I'm getting on the train. The queue's right here.
This episode is presented by LinkedIn Ads.
Sometimes marketing gets wasted on the wrong people. Like if you see an ad for movie-themed dog sweaters when you don't even have a pet.
Reach exactly who you need with LinkedIn Ads. With a network of 130 million decision makers, they can help you target by job title, industry, company size, or even skills. It's one of the reasons LinkedIn Ads generates the highest B2B return on ad spend of all online ad networks. Seriously, all of them.
Try it out. Spend $250 on your first campaign on LinkedIn Ads and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Just go to linkedin.com/thebigpicture. Terms and conditions apply.
I would be remiss if having you here, we didn't talk about something beyond the topic at hand, because you're one of the great working film critics.
Thanks.
And
that's also not true.
This
Jesus
is
Christ.
true.
Okay.
And it's been an interesting year at the movies. We haven't really we're starting to do Oscar rankings stuff. We're starting to look at how things have been going, but we haven't spent a lot of time saying, like, has this been a good slate of movies? Are
Just
we really
Google
excited?
2025 movies.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we learn how to do it.
I don't know if I'm coming in hot, but it's a weird year. I
Yeah.
haven't seen everything from this sort of fall
Okay.
batch. Like I still haven't seen Hamnet.
Okay.
I haven't seen Marty Supreme or whatever. But
But
like
that just
it's-
makes you like most other
Yeah.
people.
right,
These are
right. But I've
movies that are
seen
not
a
coming
fair
out.
amount of the
Have
fall
you
stuff.
seen most of the canned stuff? at
I've
this
seen
point?
all the canned stuff, and I've
wow.
seen.
Lucky for you.
I mean, most of it at least. It's a flop fall, right? We can kind of agree. Like it's sort of like a weird festival year. It feels like a weird year for awardsy movies, but maybe not a bad year for movies.
Right.
It's just kind of settling in a way that it often won't. Where I keep a running, yearly list starting in January, right? I rank my movies.
And you keep it public all year.
Keep it public. And it's a living document. I kind of, I'll settle on something and I'll be like, you know what? That's sticking with me. Let's bump it up. Or I'll see something and I'll be like, eh. And often you'll get the kind of Sundancey stuff at the start and you'll watch it kind of get pushed down.
Right.
Hasn't really gotten pushed down except by like these sort of big movies that resonated with me. Like these Sinners, Weapons, One Battle, and 28 Years Later, which I think is sort of the underrated. Like those were the ones where it's like, I can't stop thinking about those movies. Let me look at my list. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, that's a very similar for me, that quartet. There are a couple of movies that I have really liked from the fall festivals that we haven't had time to talk about yet. No Other Choice, Testament of Anne Lee, a couple things that I know will be near the top of my list.
Haven't seen Anne Lee. Loved No Other Choice.
But flop fall is interesting. I mean, we went to the festivals and we wanted to be excited about as much as we could be.
And we tried.
And there were some cool things. Yeah. But I came away feeling like most of what was great was at Cannes. And
I mean,
from in that cohort.
That's true.
The things I like the most are the sentimental value and the it was just an act, like which were both Cannes movies.
Yes.
It's just an accident. Yeah. Is there anything else?
I mean, the problem is like flop fall leaves out One Battle After Another.
Right.
Which, and the thing about it is that for me, with the exception of Sinners, it was a little bit of like a flop spring and flop summer. And
also fair.
Kept waiting for we had a lot of anticipation of the fall season because I think everything felt
You had
a little
Jurassic
flat.
World Rebirth.
Where are you
You
on
were reborn.
Jurassic World Rebirth? So angry. Oh, that's right. Because Alex Ross Perry.
No, he does not influence me.
No.
That man has no sway over. No, I love you, Alex.
Hello, Alex.
Yes.
He recapped to me the interaction on your physical media.
Oh, we have a little group
chat about everyone else's hatred of Jurassic World Rebirth. And then Alex was like, but I told them that it's everything that's good about going to the movies, which I don't know if I think that, but it's still really funny that they put a giant dinosaur park in Cobble Hill. That's really, here we are in New York City, and I'm just like, that is expensive real estate.
And when I saw that, I thought we're in for a great time. And then we didn't get a great time.
ScarJo is in Dumbo or whatever, like in her car going like, God, this traffic because the brontosaurus died. I got to get to my job as a assassin,
funny.
like whatever my
she's
special
a mercenary.
ops.
Yeah.
Isn't she like 4'10"?
She's a lioness.
And then Jonathan Bailey Bringing Up Baby. Like, I'm here for it.
Okay.
It's good.
I'm glad.
Oh, that movie stunk. It is the classic.
Did you know it was shot on film?
Yeah, I guess so.
Doesn't prove anything at this point.
Right. I mean, I'm always like with that. I'm like, yeah, dude, what's a bad movie? Tell me a bad movie from the 90s.
Sliver?
Yeah, it was shot. Well, that's a pretty good movie.
It's a great movie.
No, Sliver is bad. Jade is good.
Yeah.
Sliver is bad.
I agree.
I think I'll go there, right? Like I bought the Vinegar Syndrome Sliver.
You know, I didn't buy that.
Well, my friend
But I
Beatrice
did
wrote
buy
the
Jade.
essay. Of course, you gotta buy Jade.
Jade, Friedkin.
But I
It's
did.
for the stack,
I did
the
hit
Friedkin
purchase,
stack,
going
right,
like,
Amanda?
this is a 3 out of 10 movie. Like this is not
really
a good
bad.
movie.
It's really bad.
I now
watched
own
it. I watched the first 48 minutes of it with my dad when I was 12. So not ideal.
I bought a leather jacket on the subway this morning for $70.
On the subway?
Like,
on the subway human?
No. Like I was on the subway train. Like kidding. But
Sir, may I have your jacket? I'm willing to pay you $70.
No, you know what?
Get
I
out
think
the tape
60
measure.
with shipping. So there we go.
60 with shipping?
Yeah,
Are you sure that's real leather?
Yeah, it's from eBay. You
Okay.
know,
Oh,
like
well,
I'm here
that
for the
proves
deals.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
2025 movies. It's just like, I don't think it's interesting because One Battle is this totemic thing. And it is kind of the year of like, hey, studios took chances on slight chances on slightly more original things.
Yes.
And it
By
worked. And we
studios, you
celebrate
mean
that.
Warner Brothers.
We mean the good people at Warner
For
Brothers.
now.
Right?
And this is me knocking on wood.
Yeah, I can't even. Let's not.
Soon we'll just say studio. We'll just be like the studio. There's just going to be one, right?
And we'll be called the Free Press.
Yeah, it's trending in that direction right now.
But like, I do think there's a lot of sort of noble, interesting efforts like Jay Kelly, Smashing Machine, Highest to Lowest, like movies where I found a lot to like, but I was not like walking out.
But it's not even your favorite
up.
movie from those filmmakers, right?
Certainly not.
Yeah. I agree. I feel very similarly about all three of those, where I'm like, there's stuff in all three of these movies I dig.
Yeah.
It's not their best films. It's also all three of them kind of trying something a little bit different and maybe not totally grasping everything that they went for, but I like them.
Also, and this is inside baseball, but all of these movies, so many of these movies, picked the wrong rollout. And it's like that only matters to people like me. But like when Jay Kelly's at Venice, I'm like, no, like Toronto. Like I need to, someone just needs to put me on a chair. And the studios come to me and they're like, no, Baumbach film. It's kind of an insider Hollywood thing. It's set in Italy. And I'm like, I don't care that it's set in Italy. No. Italy will not like that. Guess who's going to like that? George Clooney's in it? Toronto. You're going to Toronto, baby. You know, like they're all playing games from like 5 years ago. They are all like, well, Lady Gaga rode a boat. I'm like, I don't care that she rode a boat.
Do you want to be...
I do care that she did that, obviously.
Let's talk more about that role that you could have.
You got to find your audience, to hype up, to get your momentum.
Do you want to be a czar or do you want to be a backstage
No, I want
advisor?
to be, like a shadowy figure.
Okay. Do you want to be paid by the studios to do this, or will you do it pro bono?
Do pro bono.
Wow.
No, I'm joking.
They'll just tell you what a movie is about, and you'll say, you go here, this is your release date.
But don't you know what I mean?
I do.
Like movies like Jay Kelly or even Smashing Machine, or like where you're just like, I think if you want to get some momentum, you gotta you can't play to a European audience with some of this stuff because they're just not going to be into. I don't know. Like there's just been a few like that.
I liked Testament of Anne Lee and I'm really happy that Searchlight bought it.
Right.
I watched more old Italian people walk out of that film angrily than I saw at any other movie, and that's on the old Italian people, who it's their fault.
Yes,
but you're right that they're not really matching.
Eddington, a movie I liked.
Yeah,
and I know Ari wanted to go to Cannes or whatever, but like that's not a Cannes movie.
No.
Those Frenchies don't want to hear that.
No, that would have done great at Venice.
Yes, it would have.
Yeah.
Anyway, who cares? No one listens to me. And these movies are here, and it doesn't matter. In the long run, we'll think about them later. But it does just kind of feel like if I'm like a median Oscar voter, all of that stuff's bouncing off me. All these sort of fall festival movies are not really catching.
Yeah.
And so it will come down to these bigger movies, which is going to make for like a kind of a different award season, I guess. That's nice.
Particularly if Wicked and Avatar are going in. And then all of a sudden you have a race that's Wicked, Avatar, Sinners, One Battle. That's a lot of bigger movies.
Can I say something really foolish? Just foolish. I should not say this. Slightest concern about Avatar?
Me too. I've been saying we've been keeping it out.
Not quality wise.
Yeah. Just in the race.
Gonna rock.
Yeah.
Just fatigue. I get it.
Well, like the way they re-released Way of Water
this past weekend,
and everyone was like, I don't care about that.
we don't have 4 hours to
right.
Yeah.
I got to go watch a lyric video.
Taylor Swift put a bullet in the head of that strategy as well.
Exactly, right.
Sure.
And then she put a bullet in a couple heads. But I'm just detecting look, this happened with Way of Water a little bit where everyone was like, does anyone even care about Avatar? And that's like, you know what? It's Christmas and people want to go see a big movie and they have a good time.
Yep.
That will happen again, I assume. Just slightly.
I think it's going to do well at the box office, not as big as Way of Water. Yeah. I similarly in the awards race, we're just speculating. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
But
it's early.
It feels like it. Maybe you could have waited 2 or 3 more years so that everyone could forget a little bit more, and maybe we haven't forgotten enough how special these movies are.
Happy that we have it. Like I'm not mad that it doesn't.
I'm looking forward to seeing
to watch it.
Exactly. What I saw at CinemaCon, I was like, let's go. Light me on fire.
Volcano.
I'm into it. You don't care.
No, I don't. I mean, I left before the Disney presentation. And I do the Chris Ryan breakout video of I've never seen Avatar. I don't care. Why are you spending your life on this? Like that got traction for a reason. You know,
of course.
Even among I have seen both films in theaters and I'm like, wow, a technical marvel. But like I don't really care. You know, I sit down, I watch them, I say, Sigourney Weaver, glad to see you in, different blue representations.
Sure.
And then I move on with my life. So it just feels like less.
The beautiful whale.
That's the whale. The whale was very beautiful. Was that whale before or after the powerful sea creature in the second Black Panther?
I believe that
or was that an underwater world?
Directly
what was going
after
on?
Black Panther was
22.
What was
it
going
was
on
right
there?
after, and that was
22.
just a world.
Okay.
Aquaman had a powerful sea creature voiced by Julie Andrews.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just learning that right now. No one told me.
That's a good movie. Have you seen that movie?
I've never seen an Aquaman movie.
Do you like Patrick Wilson?
I do, and I have heard about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Patrick
The Ocean
Wilson
Master.
being the Ocean Master?
Right. Someone has to do it. So
that's his opinion.
and I would put him.
Others in the film disagree.
I submitted my resume, not selected for the role of Ocean Master, sadly.
I stand both of those.
Without spoilers,
Aquaman.
great Patrick Wilson moment this fall festival season.
Absolutely.
So I'm,
Let's not spoil that for everybody.
I'm always
It's very
happy to
good.
see him.
I saw him in the trailer of the movie, and I was like, "Don't do that."
I agree.
Yeah, no
don't
show.
do
Don't do
it.
that.
No show
Don't do
that.
it.
Anyway.
It's a great reveal.
Okay, so the reason that we're talking about Daniel Day-Lewis today is because he has a new film called Anemone, directed by his son, which is a not great movie. It is co-written by Daniel Day-Lewis.
Has he ever gotten a writing credit
I don't
before?
believe
I don't think
so. It's obviously this is a real family affair. Daniel Day-Lewis has done a tremendous amount of press for this movie in support of his son. And so I'm loath to crush this movie.
It's not even crushable. It's not a successful movie, in my opinion. I don't know. What did you guys think?
1,000% agree.
Yeah. It's pretty.
It looks beautiful.
Pretty good looking.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, man,
here's
like,
I mean, it's like fine.
I mean, I just-
guess what? Ireland is beautiful. You know?
I think it was Northern England.
Oh, it
right?
was?
It's not Ireland.
Okay.
I thought it was Ireland too.
I didn't
Until
know.
I
I don't know
went
where it
Okay,
was shot.
at some point later on in this podcast, we're gonna have like David's
I'll try to explain the politics.
Isles corner.
Oh, sure, let's talk Isles.
Well,
Yeah.
DDL is perfect for that,
Well,
given his
no, no, no.
heritage as well.
Exactly. That's what I
Right.
want to talk about. And his, but yes.
I had the Aretha Franklin, like, beautiful moss, great moss. You know,
Yeah.
like, I was just like, look, all these trees look great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Spoiler
argue.
alert, another movie this fall.
Oh yeah, the trees are everywhere.
Yeah, and the fucking moss, like
Wait,
enough.
which one? What's
you
the
know?
moss?
Well,
Oh,
you haven't seen it yet.
There's
so-
another one too, though. There's two. That,
the trains.
JK. No, the JK has
It
has trees.
Oh,
There's
sure.
a memorable tree
Oh,
sequence.
sure, yeah,
We're
right.
talking around
Yeah,
the
right,
audience, and
yeah,
that's not
yeah.
very nice.
Right.
The thing about Anemone,
And
the film is very abstract until it isn't, and
until they all say what's going on.
And I would argue that
90
they should
minutes
have
in.
not told us, and that
Yeah.
you could have said this is kind of a sleepy movie that's hard to penetrate, but at least you were making a kind of gesture towards a certain kind of cinema. You could have been like, this is my Lynchian film. But then when the movie explains itself, I was like, I don't know that I really think that it was a good choice.
I would also argue that it does not explain itself very well.
Plot-wise, I think it does.
Plot-wise, I got the gist, and I was really concentrating.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that some of the politics and like the
Beyond,
the
right.
specifics were not nailed down for
Yeah,
me. I got it on a big level, but the fact that they go into the specifics and I'm like, I'm a dumb American, it sort of
I don't even
doesn't
think
land it.
That's part of it, but it is also just one of those movies where for 90 minutes of a 2-hour movie that should be max 85 minutes, this movie, but whatever, for most of the movie, everyone's just like, yeah, and ever since the thing that happened, I've been living in this fucking cabin. And she'll be like, you fucking have. And I'm like, And then finally, eventually he's like, and by the way, just to explain, the thing that happened is this thing. Let me talk about it for 5 minutes. And you're like, okay, we're finally saying, you can't just talk around the thing that everyone knows. Everyone in the movie knows what happened.
Right.
And so we're just kind of waiting for everyone to kind of pause and just recap for us eventually. It's not great plotting. I sound nitpicky, but
it's not. And I think that that's part of why I'm trying to figure out why even this was the thing that pulled Daniel Day-Lewis out of 8 years of seclusion.
it sounds like it was something he and his son like workshopped as like a character or a little story.
Yes. And it feels like a
And
theater
it sort of
piece.
snowballed. Right. Yeah. They were like,
Because
well, we could
several
expand
monologues
this.
in the
Right.
film.
Right.
Many of them focused on Day-Lewis's character.
Yeah. One of them focused on poop.
I thought that,
Heavily
I thought,
focused on
that's the
poop.
I thought
one,
that one
right?
was great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's the most arresting part of the movie. Yes, without
it's
a doubt.
memorable, and it's 20 minutes of him just like seeing Jimmy, and
Yes.
then you're like, okay, now we're back in the
It
woods.
does go back to the movie.
back to the fucking woods with me. Can I swear? Is that okay?
Yes, you may.
Okay. I always forget.
Anyhow, it had been a long time since Daniel Day-Lewis appeared in a movie. And part of what he has been confronted by in this press run is, why did you retire?
Right.
What does it mean to retire from acting? And he is, I think I get the impression he doesn't read a lot of press
You don't think this guy
or
is
consume a lot of
logged on?
content because he's like, God damn, I'm just getting this question every time. And I got to figure out an interesting way to answer the question of why am I not acting
He
anymore?
sounds a little contrite and a little like abashed in his sort of way of like, yeah, everyone told me not to say anything.
Yeah.
And I really was just not working, versus retired.
Right.
Never say retired, I guess, is the lesson. You can just sort of say like, I'm taking a break.
Yes. I mean, and when he did that, when he stepped away after Phantom Thread, he was 60 years old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously among the most decorated actors of all time. So for him to just say, I'm good, it actually is reasonable. I think it's because there is a lot of attendant mythology with Daniel Day-Lewis that it came with more baggage.
Decisions like just not taking on a job for 8 years add to. So, you get it.
The baggage increases. You're right. And I mean, he said, like, it seems very plausible to me that, like, he does Phantom Thread for whatever reason that takes a lot out of him, probably because it's a demanding, difficult guy that he's playing. And then he said, like, I saw the press coming. I saw the Oscar stuff coming, right? And I just hate that.
Yep.
And he backed off. Like, I feel like he was like, so, you know what? I'm kind of retired. Like, before that even starts up. He's like, let the movie stand for itself and I'm going away. And, I mean, his son would have been what, like 20 when that happened?
Yeah. And I don't know. I think it's sweet that he made a movie with
I
his
do
son.
too.
I really like that he did that.
Yes.
And,
It's nice.
And his son's
a 30-year-old first-time filmmaker. You know what I mean? And you can tell. You can tell.
Like, I mean, God, at the press conference at the New York Film Festival afterwards, his son said something along the lines of like, well, I've loved Sean Bean since like I saw him in Game of Thrones when I was a kid. And Sean Bean like put his head in his hands. Because Sean Bean is like, that was like my third, wave of my career probably, right? He's thinking like, I've been fucking acting since the 80s or, but there, that's the age he is.
Okay, let's talk about Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
He's 68 years old. He was born in London, England.
Well, his father was Poet Laureate of the United Kingdom. I don't know if you know that. Yeah.
Though he was born in Ireland. Yeah. Cecil Day-Lewis. Cecil or Cecil? Where do you stand on it? Cecil.
I think is how he's addressed.
Okay.
Yep.
Immediately, as a young man, went into the theater, studied at the National Youth Theater, the Bristol Old Vic, learned the classical methods of the stage, and then kind of midstream in his late teens, began to adopt the method.
Which I don't know how that happened because I do not think of that as British.
It's
so
historically
American.
not.
Right.
Right. And it's unclear because he historically has been a bit circumspect about discussing not just his process, but specifically working with the method.
Right.
Until this year.
He's been
talking about it, which is so interesting. And I think he has been trying to demythologize it in part because of all the baggage that he now carries around because of his career. But he went from he joined the Royal Shakespeare Company.
Right.
He performed on stage routinely from the late 70s through the mid 80s until his film career really started to take off. And then he reduced the amount of time he spent on stage.
Well,
obviously.
He reduced it completely.
Yes.
He had a freak out on stage. And then he never
So tell that story. What happened?
Yeah.
All we know is that his dad had died and that he like apparently kind of lost it in the middle of being Hamlet during a scene with the ghost and like left the stage and never returned and has never acted since.
Right.
And the whole thing with Daniel Day-Lewis, as you sort of think, is everyone obsesses over every detail of his career in this way of like that he's so unique, right? That it's like, and that could only happen a day that he was so in it as Hamlet that he saw his own father or whatever, and then like he couldn't do it. I don't know. I think he's talked about it maybe a little bit in terms of just doesn't like the stage aspect as much, or I don't know, but like that's the end of it. He's never ever touched the stage again.
So he has been
it's cool.
Primarily a film actor.
Entirely.
It adds to that myth.
I don't think he's ever done television.
Some for BBC projects.
I guess like TV movies.
Yeah, I think he may have done one or two episodic TV spots in the 80s.
What's the best show he could join now? Like season 6 of The Morning Show. It's just like,
I would like to see him on The Pit. I think that would be cool because he would bring an intensity that is appropriate.
Lose him, and it would just be like he's just still an ER doctor.
Sure, but then think of the lives he's saving.
That's so
you know?
true. Except maybe they're all like, he's not that good. He's just an actor. All the other Pit ER doctors.
That's true. Peacemaker season 3.
Yeah, exactly.
What happens on The Peacemaker?
They make peace.
But who's
There are heroes confronting fascism.
Okay,
and
but
reckoning with its toll.
They're superheroes that make peace.
I mean, I've only seen some of season 1 of Peacemaker. I keep meaning to fill that in because I'm told it's very important to understanding Superman or something.
There are lots of relevant things.
But he's like a knockoff
universe.
Captain America guy who's shitty, right?
Okay.
He's like a sort of patriotic hero guy, John Cena.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's mostly about him. Like, I feel like the show, in the movie he was a sort of a villain, but in the show he's kind of trying to chart some kind of path beyond villainy, right? Like,
I think
sort
season
of
2 took a really strong turn into white nationalism.
Right.
I sort of stopped listening.
I think he got sucked into a white nationalist universe or something. It's mostly, I'm seeing Twitter memes. I gotta catch up.
We should turn this show into a Peacemaker show. Just only recap Peacemaker.
Well, I was
and just
to
like
understand.
a DCU rumors show.
That's
great. And then my buddy Jim Gunn could just come and fuel every single one.
He could come in and be like, it's not a Superman movie.
Let's tweet live from this show.
I'm glad that we're talking about Peacemaker.
Batman down to 40 guys. And I'll show you the list, but only far away, like this.
Could DDL have been Batman?
I
say yes.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is the Hamlet of the modern time. No, but like
Thank you for saying that out loud.
I've said that before.
Isn't Joker the Hamlet of the modern time?
Well,
in that there's 2 Oscar winners who have played the Joker,
yeah,
the clown
but like
who fights
dad
Batman.
issues, and you know, I'm taking on the mantle, but like, and I'm rich, but like, I'm really not happy about it.
Yeah.
and the women around me keep dying.
My dad's dead.
And like I live in a cave and stuff, you know?
Don't you love how Clooney plays it though, where it's like the women don't, it's just like, he's like, I just don't really want to marry Elle Macpherson. Like that's the extent of his drama in Batman and Robin. Batman. Yeah. Could he have played Batman? Sure. I wonder, like, I doubt. There was never even the vaguest approach to him, even in his 90s hot guy era.
I don't know, but we will talk about the 90s and what
like,
he could have done.
Be the Shadow. Like, you know, like not even forget even like a costumed hero.
You get the impression that he's never been intrigued by anything resembling commercial Hollywood.
Who's his agent? Like how does it work with
you? Make it sound like I know the agents of all major stars.
Now tell me now.
It does feel like it's sort of a Bill Murray hotline experience, but it's like instead of like a carrier pigeon, you know, like it circles around for a while.
It always feels like you get
someone whispers in the wind and it makes its way across the world.
Right, like it was Michael Mann when I interviewed him for Ferrari said like, oh yeah, when I was in London, I got dinner with Dan. And you're like, right, he's around. It's not like he lives in a cave.
The last 8 years, you were like, he's been in hiding. And it's like, no, actually, he's just been like wandering around the West Village looking cool as hell. You know?
That's true.
It's like the West Village girlies and DDL. Like, it's like maybe he's doing Pilates for all I know.
I think he might be hot Pilates. But yeah, like, and I think it's like, you get dinner with him. And back in the day when he was working more, maybe you would be like, you know, what if there was like a really weird fucking dressmaker? And he's like, I mean, I don't know how it works.
Well, let's talk. Can we talk about the shoes for a second?
Sure.
Because this is not like the first time he's quote unquote stepped away from acting.
Sure.
And for a while, for 3 years,
post the boxer pre Gangs of New York.
Right. He was like, now I'm going to go be an apprentice to
I'm
an
a shoe guy.
Have we ever seen the Italian shoes that he made?
No.
They get on eBay.
I mean, but have they been released?
No,
like, do we know what kind of shoemaker?
Maybe
do we know
just,
the styles?
Maybe they're just for him.
But okay, is he
maybe
wearing
they're gifts
them?
for his family.
What I'm saying is like I could be a customer, you know?
That's
would
true.
be interested,
Right,
and I
that's
don't
true.
know enough about the shoes.
You're
Googling now.
But I mean, I think the whole thing was that he was like, I like a craft. I liked learning at the foot of a genius, like how to do this.
Okay, Stefano Beamer. Yeah. I mean, these
look like very nice Italian leather shoes.
Sure, you know, like the Italian John Lobb or whatever. I get it. I guess this is not really. He could make a nice loafer for me.
What you're describing is the excursions during the long periods of time between acting roles, particularly in the second half of his career. Because in the first half of his career, he's more or less working every year.
Right,
absolutely. He is a staple of, I would say, mostly British cinema through the 80s and early 90s. And then in the 90s, he kind of sort of becomes a movie star. And we'll talk through each film and everything. But, you know, you can see he's resistant to it, though, too.
He's resistant to it, but he is starting with, I mean, we should go through it to pinpoint exactly, but it's sort of around Mohicans.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's he's a guy where it's like you put his face on the poster. You put his name above the title.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's an artier movie, like that will intrigue people.
So we will go through every single movie here in this conversation.
Wow.
So
it's not that many.
It's not.
And then some of them are weird.
And some of them are weird.
I have watched every single movie.
Same.
I have not because I slept through my alarm. I'm sorry.
It's totally fine.
Some of them are very negligible. We'll get to those movies.
Right,
but some of them are like some of the great acting achievements on screen of the last 40 years, legitimately.
The whole thing, and we have to talk about, like, we'll talk about lots of things. But when we were thinking of like, okay, what's a podcast? I wanted to do a Hall of Fame. And we were looking at guys on the release calendar and girls.
Yeah.
Guys and gals.
We were.
Yeah.
We were.
And we hit on Anemone. And I was like, oh, let me see like which I haven't seen. It was like 5 movies.
A bunch.
I've seen most of his movies.
Well, there are a lot, but there aren't that many. But they are, as you said, some of the great screen performances. But I wouldn't say that this is a Hall of Fame of like the greatest complete works of cinema.
They're movies that are built around him.
Yeah.
And at a certain point in his career, is where it sort of becomes like, well, you've got Daniel Day-Lewis. And so with that, like the bar has been raised in terms of how much you'll be able to make this movie work, even if the movie doesn't come together the way you want it to.
He's in a few like great films. But you're right that it's not right. It's often more of like a very good or very interesting. I don't know. He's in a lot of movies I love.
What do you guys think defines him as an actor? Not as a star, but as an actor.
It's just super chill.
Yeah,
really
like
normal.
relax.
Well, we know that he applies the method, right? That he stays in character on set, but you wouldn't know that unless someone told you that, right? Like,
but at some point, someone did tell us that, and I do think that we watch every performance now knowing that. I can't divorce my understanding of him from.
He's been shrouded in that for me since I was a teenager. Gangs of New York would probably be the first movie he was in that I was like, a plugged-in film fan, right? Like, but he doesn't play normal guys. And we're going to talk about it, but like, this is a filmography. There's only a couple times he played kind of like a contemporary guy who like lives in a house and goes around being normal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's how we...
Just like me, a normal guy who goes around, lives in a house, being normal.
Yeah.
He tends to do period movies.
Yep.
He tends to do movies where you can sense a transformation, even if it's like not as extreme, like even if it's not big makeup or like you can just sense that like
accent,
you sense
facial
immersion.
hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like he and Meryl Streep, I feel like were the kings of this when I was a kid, of like the two actors where you're like, they're always doing something. And with Meryl, it was usually a big accent or something or whitewater rafting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with
that
him,
river was wild.
It was so wild. And with him, it would be like, oh, he's going to do, kind of like a quiet drama about like sort of what happened to the young people in the IRA who got out of prison. But he also fucking got ripped and is like a champion boxer now. You know what I mean? Like it was like, it could never just be this. Anemone is one of the sleepiest, smallest movies he's ever made. Like, and even then it feels he's immersed in it. So, I mean, he probably went off and lived in the woods. Has he talked about?
I don't think he talked about I think he's maybe trying to avoid getting kind of
mythos.
down by that. Yeah.
But this seems one of the easier ones of like he had a little house in the woods.
Yeah, sounds great.
Sign me up. The
he
kitchen.
Himself.
I saw I understand how he made his food. They have displayed all of that in the film. So
he probably had to think about
all that. I don't know. I'm maybe a little warmer towards Anemone for that reason.
Yeah. And not funny.
Not funny.
Not funny.
Though there are efforts toward funny in the filmography that maybe I wasn't familiar with.
He can be in movies that are funny and that kind of play off his seriousness in funny ways. I don't think he's particularly good at comedy.
Yes.
Yeah. And there is also
also true of Meryl until she kind of unlocked it later in life.
This is
for a long time.
But so Meryl is a key reference point. There's a quote from Colin Firth, who stars in your favorite film, Mamma Mia.
I haven't seen it.
And
worst movie I ever liked. That's how.
At the end of Mamma Mia, I'm sorry to spoil this for you, Sean.
What are you doing? Have you really not seen Mamma Mia?
The film,
it's pretty easy.
And we were not to interrupt you. We were talking about pop music and our kids the other day.
Yeah.
And actually, the one thing that my daughter does like in pop music is ABBA.
Yeah,
that is the one.
The best.
Awesome.
Okay.
One time, my wife was in the car with me. I'm sorry, and then you should.
No.
And was like, I don't really know ABBA that well, and I was like, yeah, you do. And she was like, no, I don't. And I was like, okay, well, like, Siri, play ABBA. And we are going to go through every song until we hit one you don't recognize. And it took like 14 songs.
It would have been really fun if your phone just started playing ABBA
now. Anyway, Mamma Mia.
So, again, I'm spoiler. After the dramatic events of the film have concluded, there is like a credits tacked on scene where they are all in like the most bell-bottom jumpsuits doing Waterloo.
Yeah, the song
and,
No Part Could Contain.
And going for it. And Colin Firth is like, here's the thing about all actors, like in our essence, we just want to like dress up in like very silly clothes and like dance around to Waterloo. He was like, and Meryl Streep is in it too. So like there is something about being a theater kid, actors that it's like,
let's be
this
silly.
Is really what you want. You want to express yourself. And Daniel Day-Lewis does not have that gene.
No.
Like, he's not trying to have fun to ABBA. At like any point, there is nothing silly about it.
We're going to talk about the one time he tried it, and it's very tough.
It did not work.
Yes, it really did not work.
He literally does sing and dance in a movie.
He tried.
So, yeah.
Listen,
he really gave it, and maybe he did it because he was like, I can try
this.
Right?
Yeah.
I've never done that. All right.
So your entry point was Gangs of New York. Do you remember the first time you saw him on screen?
Probably Age of Innocence. Right?
Yeah, I was trying to think if
that's my question. Had I seen any of those?
I must have been shown In the Name of the Father.
I can't remember when I saw that. I might have seen like The Crucible in school, like something like that.
Yeah.
But I do think Gangs of New York was probably the first time I was properly keyed into him as a movie fan. And then I went backwards and forwards, obviously.
I would say that the My Left Foot year is probably right around an early intro to Oscars for me.
Really?
Because I'm a little older than you.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I can picture my mom sitting on the couch talking about his performance, how he transformed.
Right.
And
that's what, 89?
89, yeah.
I was too young. Yeah.
So, okay. Well, he's won 3 Academy Awards.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's been nominated, I believe, for 6. So he's won for My Left Foot, There Will Be Blood, and Lincoln.
Yep.
That makes this a little bit easier as an exercise when you have 3 of these. I don't know if we've ever talked about anyone who has 3 acting awards for this.
Frances McDormand.
Katharine Hepburn, who I nominated,
but we missed all the anniversaries. And Sean wouldn't make her brownies. And
I said I would do her next year, though. I did
is
say
she
that.
going to be 100 next year?
No, there's no. There's no round number. We'll just do it.
And then is Meryl at 3? Or
Meryl
still
has
3.
And her third was so egregious.
Yeah.
But
sure,
whatever.
it
And
was.
Meryl will have a Hall of Fame when Devil Wears Prada 2 comes out.
Oh, that's very exciting.
go.
And let me tell you what should have gotten an Oscar is Devil Wears Prada 1.
Yes, and not the Iron Lady.
She probably will get one for 2.
You think so?
No.
Okay. Well, I should listen.
Maybe she's amazing at it. I
So
don't know.
excited.
She might be, maybe.
Yeah, are we missing with
There's
3?
not that many. I mean, I think there's that guy who did it 3 times early. Is it Walter Brennan or whatever? There's some character actor in the 30s and 40s who picked up 3 Oscars, but we don't think about him in the same way.
Nicholson?
Nicholson has 3 for Cuckoo's Nest, Terms of Endearment, as good as it gets. You
Ingrid
guys could do
Bergman?
Nicholson. Ingrid Bergman has at least 2.
And then she has Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah, she did win an Oscar.
Yeah. That's a choice they made.
Guys, do it. She's all right in it.
Okay.
I mean,
she's okay, but
she's fine in it.
Who's that?
Ingrid Bergman.
And
Heard of her?
Murder on the Orient Express.
That's a phony win, but she's a genius. She's the legend.
I mean, obviously,
totally. It's not that she doesn't deserve
hack.
No. But that's a silly Oscar win.
It was a bit of a sort of like, oh my God, you're still here win. Like,
exactly.
I mean, I like that movie. Okay,
she should have won for what's the Rossellini Journey to Italy. That's an incredible performance.
That is one of my favorite movies of all time.
That's such a great movie.
And
but that's when she was tarred and feathered because she was cheating on her husband. With, the Big Tuna. That's what I call Rossellini.
The Big Tuna?
Well, he was a big guy, and he made this movie Stromboli, which is all about tuna hunters.
That's
so
true.
I call him
That's
the Big
true.
Tuna Hunter.
Okay.
The Big Tuna.
I like that you have
talking to me
nicknames
about
for Roberto
Stromboli just the
Rossellini.
other night. Oh, my sister-in-law, Ruthie.
Yes,
was
I saw her
because
at
because she was in Sicily, and then she's like, and then I watched Stromboli.
Stromboli rocks.
She did.
Yeah.
That movie rocks.
Shout out Ruthie.
Ruthie, a woman of taste.
Yeah. I didn't get to shout her out during the live podcast, but I shouted out her parents. So
Shout
hi,
out
Ruthie.
Ruthie.
We love
I
you.
said hi to her backstage.
Yeah.
DDL also nominated for In the Name of the Father, Gangs of New York, and Phantom Thread.
And that's it? It's 6 total? That's interesting. I'm like,
So
I'm
he's
wondering.
not quite, because I do see him in this tradition of great English actors. Laurence Olivier, the kind of Richard Harris, Richard Burton, Robert Shaw, Oliver Reed, that whole, wing of guys. And then, John Gielgud, this whole historical run of folks. Peter O'Toole, I think, is a good.
Almost everyone you're naming is the other kind of actor where they're like, I get shit-faced until they call action.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where DDL is like, I learn how to make houses out of trees and live in the woods for a year. Peter O'Toole is like, I go to the bar.
Right.
And I load up, and then I'm ready to be fucking,
That's how I podcast. There's nothing wrong with that
My
method.
favorite
That's
year.
my method.
And it's just so interesting, to think about those guys, because you think about Olivier, the famous thing with Marathon Man, where to Dustin Hoffman, he's like, why don't you just try acting? Or, right? Dustin Hoffman's, deep in the method, and Olivier's like, what is this? And that's why Daniel Day-Lewis sticks out to me as a Brit, because I feel like Brits usually don't tolerate that kind of tomfoolery.
So I think there is one comp, and it's an unusual one because this is an actor who is known for franchise work and comedy. But I think Alec Guinness is actually an interesting match for him, because Alec Guinness was a transformer. He was a person who turned into characters and disappeared and used prosthetics and changed his facial hair.
Right. And he fought the Decepticons.
And he certainly did. He built that bridge.
I said this on Blank Check recently. I think he is one of the, you can easily make a case, greatest screen actor who ever lived.
Yeah, the most varied filmography and achievements in every decade.
But he couldn't beat Darth Vader.
He couldn't. But his spirit did.
Okay.
DDL. Let's talk about the films. So we're going to go through every movie. I want to say, is it roughly 20 films? I think it's 21
That sounds
films.
about right.
The first
So we can be
two
a
are
little
very
loose.
easy to discount.
Yeah.
We can be a little. The thing is like when you've got like 7 bang-on classics.
It's like 22.
Yeah.
22.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
There is some TV stuff. I actually
21.
did go back and watch a couple of the TV films that he made, which are you can see what his screen persona. And my brother Jonathan is one of the first. It's like a mini series that he made for the BBC.
I was like, you don't have a brother named
No,
Jonathan.
not my brother Jonathan.
Hi, Kyle.
And all of that stuff is interesting. Prior to all of that work, he has a walk-on part in John Schlesinger's Sunday Bloody Sunday,
Right.
which is fascinating because I guess Peter Finch is maybe another guy that he has some things in common with.
I bet you Peter Finch was something of a idol or not like
somebody he
a
looked up to.
model. Right. Another like mega intense young British actor who like sort of was like startlingly emotional on screen. And he's in that's an interesting comp.
Then in 1982, 11 years later, after he has been studying and working on stage, he gets a small one-scene part in Gandhi, where he plays a man named Colin, a racist thug on the streets who insults Gandhi.
Mahatma Gandhi. Mohandas Gandhi.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, he sticks out in the movie. It's a very memorable 2 minutes in this film.
It's actually really, it's an affecting scene. Do you like Gandhi?
I don't.
Gandhi's a movie that, like, I grew up in England. You're shown that film in school because it's like this very kind of straightforward, kind of like, here's this guy's life you need to know about it movie. And I have a bit of a soft spot for it because I love those, like, just everything is on screen. It's so many people. Like the
scale.
But it's a pretty it's a straightforward movie. It's not the most.
It is one of the early examples I could think of a movie that starts at the end.
Yeah.
And then it goes because it starts with Gandhi's funeral.
Yes.
And then it's like, how do we get here? Let's go back to the very first day of this guy's life.
Yeah, basically.
And then it walks for 3 hours through his
like,
life. And his life is remarkable. There's no doubt. And it is worthy of a movie.
Kingsley's is amazing.
He's great.
Yes.
He's phenomenal. A very famous Oscar win for him there. A somewhat controversial one. Okay, so Gandhi obviously not going in either because of the size of that part. 1984 is The Bounty. I just watched this for the first time.
Okay.
So this is the third Hollywood remake of Mutiny on the Bounty.
Yep.
And I would say a fairly successful movie.
Is it Donaldson?
It's Roger Donaldson.
Yeah. It's I watched it a few years ago. I did a podcast where we were drafting, they were ripping you guys off. 80s, God bless them, they're nice boys. 80s Cannes blockbusters, and that counted. It was basically like big budget movies that were at Cannes. Right?
80s Cannes blockbusters.
That's really specific.
It was an interesting idea.
Fun. And I had to watch a bunch of movies like that were sort of a little lost to memory. Like it's Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins and Mel Gibson.
And Mel Gibson.
And two tremendously intense performances from Hopkins and Gibson.
The whole thing with Mutiny on the Bounty is it's a great opportunity for like a little bit of an older guy, a little bit of a young buck,
and it's a big
actors.
stack of ham. Like exactly. You can just bite right into it.
Yeah, put them in their navy whites and their hats. And you have them in the courtroom going like, well, I never did a mutiny on the Bounty. And then you cut to the Bounty was like, I'm going to do a mutiny on the Bounty. And it's fun. It always works. They could do it again. Who's that now?
It's still Anthony Hopkins.
He's just like asleep in a chair. They're like, we got to kick this guy off.
The young guys, the Harris Dickinsons and the Paul Mescals, they don't want to yell back at their elders. That's not the acting style.
No,
yeah, exactly.
They're getting stoned and being the Beatles.
That's right.
Which is fine.
There's
between you in the Criterion closet. So
right.
Daniel Day-Lewis in The Bounty plays a man named John Fryer. He's essentially one of the first mates, the sort of like lieutenants to Captain Bligh. Right. No, but he's not a bad guy. He supports Hopkins' character, and it's just kind of like he's like the Bebop and Rocksteady to Shredder, and he's fine. I thought this was a pretty good Mel Gibson performance.
Okay,
yeah, those 80s.
You know what? You have been saying, like, we
forget.
Have been saying that, like, a lot on the podcast. And listen, it's not an endorsement of anything that comes out.
He seems like a horrible person.
But
he was a really good movie star.
You're just like, well, this was pretty charming.
When you see 80s Gibson, right, it's the mix of, like, man, the guy looks great. He's super charming, but also just raw nerve stuff.
Yes, pops off the screen.
Like, you can understand why everyone was like, get that guy.
Okay, 1984 is The Bounty, red.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 3 straight reds. 1985, My Beautiful Laundrette. So this is the breakthrough, right? This is the Who's That?
Yeah.
Stephen Frears' drama, that I think is now probably best known as a Daniel Day-Lewis movie to most people, even though he's like maybe the 3rd lead in the film.
He's almost supporting. I mean, I would call him lead, but because Roshan Seth, the guy who plays the dad, is kind
also
of
has a big part,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that movie rocks. That movie's pretty canonical in Britain. I don't know. I guess it's not
as
here
much
at all.
here.
Yeah, not as much.
Like
crossover.
that's like a pretty classic, like sort of breakthrough indie sort of dramedy, whatever. Like obviously it's an early story, like gay story in British cinema, like early-ish. But I guess it's mostly famous because he's just so good looking. Like he's just so charming and handsome in it. And like, again, like raw nerve kind of stuff, right? Like, I don't know.
And he's a challenge to the protagonist kind of throughout the movie and like activates the movie halfway through. You
didn't like?
No, I did. I'd seen it before. I'd seen it some years ago. I don't know if
Yellow
I think
I
yellow.
think it has to be yellow.
Yeah. And it
For various
probably
reasons.
will be green.
I think it will be.
Right,
Well, we're
but-
dealing with this thing with it's top heavy with him though. Sorry.
Yeah,
Amanda.
no. It's just, you do like to honor the breakthrough.
I do.
So this is
Yes.
the breakthrough. We can yellow it. There's another 1985 movie that I would like to talk
So
about.
yes.
we should talk about that, but just last laundry, it's like he's got the punky thing in it,
Mhm.
right? And I feel like that's something he never lets go of, that even when he's mostly doing period pieces and stuff,
Right.
like he always has that kind of like
A little
weird
sneer.
outsidery.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
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 And when you're considering the arc of Daniel.
And
That's
to your
important.
point earlier, like one of the few contemporarily set
Yes, one of
movies
his
that he
only.
made.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yellow for My Beautiful Laundrette. We will come back to that. 1985, A Room with a View.
Yeah, which you just saw for the first time
You've
3
never
weeks
seen
ago.
it.
No.
And
I'm
he
not
was like, it's fine.
I thought it was
I know.
Solid.
I thank you so much. Thank you. It's so beautiful.
It's one of my favorite movies.
During the pandemic, you had a bunch of filmmakers on to recommend like one Criterion type thing. And who was it who was like A Room with a View? That's where it's
I
at.
can't recall, but you're right that someone did recommend it.
And someone was like, that is what like swooning sex appeal is all about. But
Might have been Barry Jenkins.
it is
it
not
is a Barry
located
movie.
in the Daniel
No.
Day character. You know,
Which is,
that's
No.
like,
it is interesting to twin it with Laundrette, where he's so
Yes,
sexy, and in this he is
exactly.
like the most dickless
this
fuck.
is like
Yes,
the priggish,
yes.
uptight,
Right.
you
Yes.
know, which is like another vein that he kind of skirts back and forth with throughout the career. I mean, it's like, it's not his movie.
But he is so good in it.
He's great in it.
But yes, he's sort of a antagonist or problem character. I don't know how to describe him
I mean,
exactly.
that just sucks that you don't like it.
I didn't say I don't like it.
Where
I
are you
think
on Merchant Ivory generally?
fine, and by no means an expert.
I was
Like I,
gonna
haven't
say,
seen all the
Yeah, yeah.
70s films.
Like, should we meet in a year and just
Mm-hmm.
have done them all? Like,
Yes.
I've
Yes.
seen I've seen all of the 90s prestige.
sure,
Um,
right? You've seen the big boys, like
yeah.
your,
But
this was
Howard's End, your
this-
Remains
for
of the Day.
years on the
Yeah.
show. This was a big open spot for me
Right.
that I had never filled. And I think it's just one of those things where there's a weight of expectations, right? When someone like Amanda is like, this is one of the best films of that decade, one of the best films in this style.
Mhm.
Not like a huge Ian Forster fan. So like that's
Yeah, sure.
not
Yeah,
really
yeah,
like
yeah.
my favorite style of storytelling.
Sure.
I thought it was
Yeah.
good.
He doesn't really relate to like young women trying to break out of the strictures
No, he
of the
thinks
world
I think they
around
should
them.
stay in their
Right.
place.
Yeah.
Just keep them right
Yeah,
there
in the home.
Yeah.
until they get married and put them in
Exactly.
a brand new kitchen.
Right.
And they
Yeah.
can't leave that one
Linoleum
either.
floors that are cleaned every morning.
It's just a. I mean,
It's a weird
not
thing
a
for him
DDL
though,
movie.
because
it is. Yeah,
It
he
is.
doesn't come in
yeah,
until
that's fine.
45 minutes
Yeah.
in. He's
Right.
playing off of the Julian, the allure of the Julian
Sands
Sands
character,
characters.
which
yeah.
is
You know,
just the late great Julian
which,
Sands.
which is interesting because Julian Sands is playing a role that Daniel Day-Lewis can play, or
Absolutely.
Right.
probably was aspiring to do more of.
but he's the buttoned up.
Yeah,
He's
he's
the
the prig.
glasses.
But this
Yeah.
is also period piece, like very, mannered, which is something that he gravitates towards.
Mhm.
So it's like it's not DDL's movie, but it is like a DDL-esque movie.
Well,
100%. He fits perfectly in
Yeah.
the movie.
He does.
But he's usually playing the Sands character.
Yeah.
He will play the Sands character in a
the
couple
whole
of
thing
examples.
with
Yeah, yeah,
CDL is he is default a reedy guy with kind of this like thin English face. He's so English. And then you see him like resisting that, being like, no, I am Irish too. My dad, like my heritage, which is understandable. But then you'll see him like change his body and try to like, but you put him in a little Edwardian suit or whatever, he looks the part.
He
always.
does. He
like,
does.
Yeah.
So what do we do with this?
You can yellow it.
I think it should be yellow just because, as
out
good
of
as
respect.
he
It's
is
one of the
in it,
best movies he's ever been in canonically.
Right.
I would say maybe, yes.
Just
but
out of respect, you can yellow it.
Okay,
And
we will
can
yellow
go back.
and return to it.
So much.
I love it too.
It might be my favorite.
I think
don't
it
know.
might be the
Merchant
best.
Ivory. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's got the more kind of early Merchant Ivory where it's just a little more romantic.
I have
Versus
been meaning
the
to
90s ones where it's like all about like one tremor of emotion every 2 hours, which you
Scene in
admire.
the field. Oh,
I like
really.
the scene in the lake when they're
When
all
the boys-
stripping down
Oh,
and
yeah,
chasing
yeah.
each other. I was
Yeah.
like, this is
Great.
you don't usually see this.
No, that's
every
what
day.
rocks about it.
But I haven't seen like the Bostonians, the Wild Party. Like I haven't seen
I
any
haven't
of those
seen them all
movies.
either.
So,
I mean, I need a reason to see some of them. Yeah.
1986. This is I think this is a hard film to find. It was a hard film to find on physical media.
Mhm.
It's called Nanu. It's a French romantic drama, sort of dramedy.
Yeah.
And again, Daniel Day-Lewis plays a very strange part where he plays the boyfriend who is, I guess, being cuckolded.
Sure.
And was going to be cuckolded. And the film is sort of about this challenging decision for the female lead.
Imogen Stubbs. Who is kind of like, she's like a big British theater actor. She was kind of like a medium deal. You know what I mean? Like she's in the 12th Night, Trevor Nunn movie. She's in Sense and Sensibility, but she was never quite on the level of like an Emma Thompson or whatever the big crossover Brits were.
Right. A rare example of a film written and directed by a woman in 1980s England. That did not happen.
Which
very often.
you're not happy about that.
Why was she not on those linoleum floors is what I said when this film was announced in 1986.
Connie Templeman, the only movie I think she ever made.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
It's ultimately, it's a French film. It's not, there is English language in it, but it is, it feels French in its pacing and its style. And it has been kind of disappeared from the Daniel Day-Lewis history, even though it comes in the aftermath of two big British classics. And it's not going in.
Okay.
It's going to be a red.
He's fine. It's barely a part.
It relates to, a movie we're going to discuss soon. Yeah.
So you hate women and French people?
I don't hate anyone.
Has he been in, how many other movies has he been in directed by a woman? Is that the only one?
His wife directed
Well,
him.
his wife did direct him. That's right. I think that's the only other one.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
1988's The Unbearable Lightness of Being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd never seen this movie.
I probably haven't seen it in 20 years.
I had watched, and I remember this very clearly, about 45 minutes of it in a Virgin Megastore once where it was just playing on a TV and it had boobs.
Okay.
I was probably about 14 or 15 years old. And it was also a movie.
They were playing this movie on TV
in the
in
UK.
public?
Dude,
There's a couple
Virgin
of sex scenes in
Megastore.
this movie that are really intense.
Absolutely.
But in the UK.
But the Virgin
that's
Megastores were so cavernous, and you would just sort of find yourself in the art housey kind of, and there would just be, stuff playing on the,
Yeah.
And I remember
That's
watching
dope.
it for a while,
Yeah.
but not really knowing what was going
Lena
on.
Olin, just sweet Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing with this movie is it's about the gals. Like it's about Juliette Binoche and Lena Olin. And this is like his first big lead in a way.
Yes, legitimately.
And he's totally fine in it, but he feels like a little like anonymous.
Well, so I haven't read this novel. This novel is a Milan Kundera novel that is hugely celebrated and is the way it was described in what I was reading about it last night is that it is simultaneously this kind of sweeping romantic drama set during a time of great historical change, a very common setting for a big story that's during the Prague Spring and the kind of retrenchment of communist power inside of Czechoslovakia. And also, a film about educated people being kind of like stripped of their livelihood during a time of revolution. But that the novel itself is kind of almost like self-aware of its own tropes. And there's a kind of knowingness in the writing that makes it a standard bearer of like postmodern fiction as well as historical fiction. And that the movie is just an adaptation of historical fiction, right? It's just a romantic drama.
Right. It sheds a lot of the literary. You're right. Yeah.
I did read this novel like freshman or sophomore year of college, which like time-wise, in my journey. Exactly. And it was like handed to me as someone who was exploring the metatextual aspects of literature, but also, was in 101.
Mhm.
So, and then I think I did see the movie then as well.
Yeah.
And this was the one that I was going to rewatch this morning and didn't get to. But yes, it is, the movie is, it's sort of like The English Patient. It's just the plot, not any of the structure,
Right.
and
Kundera was
the
mad about
linguistic and the literary
Yes.
aspects of the movie.
And
Philip Kaufman movie.
Philip Kaufman.
It's his follow up to Right Stuff, right? It's like
It
he
is.
makes Right Stuff, and he's like, okay, baby, I get to do my Czech sex movie.
Well, it's a
Check
weird,
sex.
It's a weird thing in Kaufman's career because in the 70s,
Gets fired off Josie Wales.
but he
King
bounces
Clint Eastwood.
around in terms of the kinds of movies that he makes.
Yeah.
Where he makes Invasion of the Body Snatchers remake, which is fabulous,
Amazing
great
movie.
Minnesota Northfield Raid.
Awesome movie.
He makes The Wanderers, a
seen
movie
that.
about like gangs, like leather boys, not cruising
Keep
leather
going.
boys, but leather boys. And he seems to have this interest in a lot of different kinds of stories. Raiders of the Lost Ark, famously contributed, didn't contribute.
Right.
And then after this movie, he makes a bunch of movies like this movie.
What does he make?
He makes Henry and June.
Oh yeah, right.
He
He
makes-
goes Euro.
He makes
yeah.
Quills.
Yeah.
He makes Rising Sun.
Well, that one's.
But like
no
again,
one should've-
these are all
yeah.
like erotic,
right. Yeah. Like
foreign
hard
thriller
R.
dramas.
Yes.
Hemingway and Gellhorn.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
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 And
That's
he-
Clive Owen and
Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this movie kind of just like resets the course for him. And I don't know if that's the stuff he could make because of the unbearable lightness of being or whatever. This was a very celebrated movie in its time.
Yeah. It got Oscar nominations.
Yes.
It was a thing. I feel like it launched both Lena Olin and Juliette Binoche as like sort
Yeah.
of pseudo Hollywood people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they were kind of like half in Europe, half in Hollywood people. They're the things. He's a hot doctor who fucks.
I think he's good in this.
He's good?
I don't think he's really ever done this except for maybe one other
No.
movie where he is just
Like a Lothario.
the heartthrob.
Yes,
Like he
yeah.
is just
Yeah.
like bagging women and like and with a look. The film opens with him saying, take off your clothes to a nurse in a hospital
Right.
Yeah.
whilst there is a surgery
And
happening
he's
in
a
the room
doctor.
next door. And he's a
Yes.
doctor. Yeah.
But right, it's about a guy who's kind of like, I'm just here to fuck. And like, as the weighty events mount, he's eventually confronts, like, maybe I'm not just here to fuck.
Right.
Like,
Right. But all of his other characters, he is. It's the anomaly because the rest of the time it's like he's like I would like to fuck, but I have like other things going
Sure.
on,
Yes.
and
Sure.
it's
Yes.
sort of you're like pulling me away from
Right. He's rarely sex forward.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and like even Phantom Thread is about the way in which, like, I think is it like about Daniel Day-Lewis and his appeal to women characters, and it's like it's complicated.
But he's
not
withholding his essence in that movie, and in this
Yes.
movie, he's like, "Let me get my
exactly.
essence on
That's
you."
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
which is he's
got
withholding in
buckets of it.
everything.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is like part of his thing.
Yes, I wonder if he maybe very purposefully was like, "No more Lotharios" after
Yeah.
this.
He may have found it whatever, like a little uninteresting, or I did that already, I guess. Like, but I do. It's a pretty good
Like,
move.
do you
I
think
agree.
that's his style, IRL?
No.
Yeah. So that's the other thing, right? Like
He
it's
dated
like,
Isabella Gianni for years.
Yeah.
And then that relationship fell apart, and he met Rebecca Miller, I think, when he was doing The Crucible, right? Like he meets her
Yeah.
through Arthur Miller.
Yeah,
Arthur Miller was
Heard
like,
of him.
"Hey, meet my daughter." I
Yeah.
get, right? Like that's
I
the
believe that's what
And
happened.
like
Sure.
that's all I know of his love. Like since then he's just been married to Rebecca Miller. And like so yeah, him and Isabella Gianni, that doesn't sound like a chill. Those are two very intense, cool, serious actors. Like, did they like do the crossword together? Like, it's hard to imagine.
you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I guess
You
so.
know?
I guess so.
Amanda does the crossword. She's an intense type.
She's
Yeah.
just a ball lightning.
I do spelling bee, but
Spelling bee.
Yeah.
Great. I think
I'm
the
the
unbearable
king-
lightness
I'm
of
the
being will go
queen
in, but
bee.
I
I think we should yellow it just
yellow it.
because we're just feeling
have we
this
ever
out
gotten this far
without
before
a green. I just feel like we're anticipating all of the juggernauty things.
Yeah.
But there aren't that many movies, I guess.
Newman maybe.
We did go a few.
We went like there was
Yeah,
like
'cause he's
10
got
to
a long
12,
run
and
up.
you
Yeah.
were itchy because you kept being like, no, but we need to have the first
What
one
was the
in.
first one? Hustler? I can't remember what the first one was.
Because you were like, Paris Blues.
No,
Like,
Yeah.
Definitely not the Silver Chalice. That didn't go in.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, 1988 Stars and Bars. Now, I had not seen this before.
This was the one I was pumped for. I hadn't heard of this movie,
Yeah.
but I had read the book.
What?
William Boyd.
I read this book because my mom
I've
liked
never
William
heard of this.
Boyd. who wrote lots of like this kind of stuff.
One
like
of Juliette Lemon's favorite authors.
Like kind of light comedy stuff, like antic, usually about like being a sort of transatlantic person, which is what he was.
Okay.
London, New York-y kind of guy. And I just would, I read this book when I was a teenager. And it's like a Farsi kind of book about, a British guy ends up in the South and he's an art dealer, but in the South, they all just make barbecue or what, it's not an evolved look at the American South. I don't really remember it. And then I learned that, they had made a movie of it with Daniel Day-Lewis. And this movie kicks off. Did you watch this movie?
I did watch this movie on the plane to New York.
Sure. Did you watch this movie?
I didn't.
I mean, that's fine. It's not good. It's bad. Would you agree?
Legitimately bad.
It's quite awful. It was directed by, what's his name?
Pat O'Connor.
Who's like a guy who made a lot of like okay movies. Mm-hmm. Like I should just triple check like his resume. But it's not like
January Man, Zelda, Circle of Friends, Inventing the Abbots.
He went through the whole 90s making those kinds of movies.
Don't
Dancing
say
at
it
Lunasa.
like that.
We're going to the mat for Circle of Friends.
We're going to the mat for Inventing the Abbots.
Inventing the Abbots is a cool one.
Liv Tyler, Joaquin Phoenix was powerful stuff.
They were hot. They were hot. But it's like one of the, he would make kind of like, mid-budgety kind of drama, stuff with young stars. But I want to read the cast because it's crazy. Did you have this experience when the credits were rolling?
I only knew because I looked beforehand.
Daniel Day-Lewis, Harry Dean Stanton, Maury Chaykin, Joan Cusack, Keith David, Spalding Gray, Glenn Headley, Laurie Metcalf, Deirdre O'Connell, Will Patton, Martha Plimpton. I was just like, how bad? Stephen Wright's in it. This will be fun. Right? Look at all these heavy hitters. It sucks.
It's really not good. And it is in part because it is meant to be a fish out of water comedy. Right, and Daniel Day-Lewis isn't very funny. No. He's just not very funny.
It's the one thing I watched where I was like, he's really bad in this. He's mismatched or whatever. He doesn't have a handle on what he's supposed to be doing. Every scene is just him going, oh, yes, well, I suppose so. Well, like someone is like, hey, partner, how you doing? He's like, oh dear. It's just that over and over and over again. Right?
Yeah, I hope you bring back more of your DDL impressions throughout the rest of this episode.
Obviously, he had played sort of stiff upper lip British guys before, mostly Room of the View.
Not modern guys, though.
Yeah. Right.
This is a contemporary movie as well.
It is. But I know, the movie itself is kind of so half-assed that you're like, maybe there wasn't anything for him to grab onto, but he's bad in it.
It's so fascinating, though.
It's been buried.
Like that first of all, it's never discussed.
Yes.
No one ever talks about it. I don't even know if this movie was released on VHS. Like I couldn't find it anywhere.
I watched it on Plex.
And it is well done. I rented it from iTunes, so you can still do that.
Yep.
It's sandwiched between The Unbearable Lightness of Being.
Right.
And My Left Foot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just the craziness of how life in Hollywood and filmmaking and acting careers go.
Right, because it's you imagine his agent, whoever this imaginary person was, being like, yeah, this you're the star of this movie. It's a fun comedy. It's got, actors in it. It's based on a book that I think probably sold well. Of course you do that movie. And he's like, what if I pretend to be paralyzed? Like, I can only move a foot. And the guy's like, that's kind of a risk. Is anyone going to want to see that? Yeah. It's like, that was the right move for him.
And the funny thing about it is that My Left Foot is much funnier than Stars and Bars.
Yeah, you're right.
And is not...
It has like earthy humor. You're right.
And it has a reputation as a very serious biopic about a disabled man and his struggle, right? That's the framework of the movie. But it's kind of an Irish comedy.
Yeah.
And
it's a slice of life
and
movie.
hard. And
and it's kind of uplifting, and you can kind of hear the Irish singing on the soundtrack. Sure. And it's an interesting thing because, as I said, I was 7 years old probably 8 years old during this Academy Awards.
Okay,
and an introduction to the idea of the transformer, the person who becomes someone else.
Right. You can't believe what this guy did because he was beating, I feel like, some pretty big performances at the Oscars. I can look it up.
Look at what it was in 1990.
Like when you look at, I just feel like it's a couple times I have watched some movie, loved a performance, and been like, how on earth did this guy lose? And you're like, but everyone was freaking out about Daniel Day-Lewis.
Right. Well, Tom Cruise, Born on the 4th of July.
That's the one where you're like,
he should have an Oscar for.
And it was kind of, that was
very
the
similar
moment.
kind of performance
Yeah.
too, a transformation.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's the big one. Yes,
And
him.
Branagh, we didn't mention Kenneth Branagh as a kind of antecedent to
Sure.
DDL, but they're correlated in some way.
And that's Branagh's breakout year with Henry V.
Yeah.
And Morgan Freeman for Driving Miss Daisy,
Yeah.
Robin Williams for Dead Poets Society.
Yeah.
Which is
Also a
Williams
good performance.
having his like, I'm stepping into drama and it's working thing. I
Right.
mean, that's an interesting counter to, but yeah, like it was just what you're saying. Everyone was like, I don't understand how he did this.
So My Left Foot is
It's the first Miramax triumph.
yes,
It's
it
the
is.
original
Yeah.
Harvey
It is.
Weinstein Oscar triumph.
That's right.
Taking a tiny Euro movie and God, whatever. I like the movie, but like cramming it down people's throats.
Right.
Yes.
On the back
Yeah,
of a
yeah,
strong
yeah,
lead
yeah.
performance that you can really sell against and say you have to see this because of this incredible
An
transformation.
actor who's a little bit of a name. It's not like he was a total unknown.
Right. First time he works with Jim Sheridan, the great Irish filmmaker. And I like this movie. I don't love it. It's not like a personal favorite of mine. It's very impressive what he has done
Right.
in terms of just transforming his body and the things he learned to do with his feet. And that he has said that the reason that he wanted to do this was the challenge of it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure he connected to the story and it was a meaningful one to him, but that the idea of, making your foot your only workable
Way to
appendage,
interact with the world,
exactly,
right.
to communicate, to
Yeah.
make art, to write.
It's an impressive performance, but it has also become like shorthand for the DDL thing. You know,
Yes.
it's like, oh, right. Okay. So now you are completely becoming someone else, like with great like physical challenges.
Mhm.
And it is showy,
It is
like
showy.
it is, hey, look over here, we're acting.
100%.
Whereas everyone else in the movie is not.
Right.
Brenda Fricker won an Oscar. Like everyone else feels like these nice lived-in British, Irish performers. like
And like
Fiona Shaw is
that's
really good in it.
ungenerous
She
in
is
the
very
sense
good.
of what I think is really impressive about the Daniel Day-Lewis performance. It like is because it is so physical and like showy. He does make it look natural.
Yeah.
Like he is. He's acting, but there is a naturalistic quality to like his presence that makes it also, this could be really insulting in almost like anybody else's hands or body.
Yeah,
And
gone wrong, it would be terrible.
Totally. So you got to hand it to him, but it's like the
gotta
performance
foot it to
announces
him.
itself. You got to foot it to him. That's right.
Sorry, that's insensitive to Christy
Yeah.
Brown. I'm really sorry.
My Left Foot is going in the Daniel Day-Lewis
I
Hall
think
of Fame automatically.
even though it is not a film, I've seen it like once, and I think it's like quite good. I like Jim Sheridan, and I think that's such an interesting run of films.
I agree.
That's kind of starting here, and it's also very interesting how it ends. Like In America is kind of the last movie of consequence he made. I mean, the Brothers remake is okay, but like he went on
I
from
forgot
like
he did that.
making these like incredibly soulful, clearly personal movies to being like, I don't know, I'll
Hollywood Jobs.
Yeah.
do it. 50 Cent needs an 8 Mile.
Yeah.
Let me at him. Like it just became kind of like a journeyman.
Mortgages cost money,
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I don't, it's fine. But like, this is not the Jim Sheridan movie I really love.
Me neither. We will get to that.
Yeah.
Here we are back right where we were 1 year ago. 1990, Ever Smile, New Jersey, a movie that no one has ever heard of.
I do not know what you're talking about, to be honest. And it's,
I'm
thinking
looking
about
at the
my
Wikipedia
left
page.
foot.
I'm sorry. Here's the first sentence. The first two clauses. Fergus O'Connell, an itinerant Irish-American dentist from New Jersey,
Sure.
offers his services free of charge to the isolated rural population of Patagonia in Argentina.
The film is written and directed by Carlos Sorin, an Argentinian filmmaker.
Sure.
This is also very clearly a personal work for him.
Do you think
I have
this
no
was-
idea how this even hit Daniel Day-Lewis's desk.
Well, good point. But do you think this was a pre-My Left Foot situation?
Yeah, of
Probably.
course,
Because
yeah.
like you think about My Left Foot is the beginning of like, okay, from now on, if he's making a movie, you're getting quite a package. You're getting
Yes.
a transformation from him. It's going to be kind of a story, right? Like we're no longer doing a Stars and Bars. Hey, and look, maybe for Stars and Bars, he spent 6 months selling art at Sotheby's. I don't know like what his prep was for that movie, but it does feel like My Left Foot On is like the method mystique begins.
I'm sorry,
with him.
the
Oh,
plot
go ahead,
summary.
go ahead.
Nevertheless, Fergus decides to continue with his work on the prevention of tooth decay and dental health education.
just
I watched
sounds
this
like
movie.
a
Which is
homework
important.
movie.
Listen,
I I'm pro-dentistry.
We know how I feel about dentists, but they prevent disease. And
best dentist movie? Is it the Alan Rudolph film, The Secret Lives of Dentists?
Catch Me If You Can. He's the Amy Adams' dad is a dentist.
Martin Sheen?
I'm not sure if that's
someone's a dentist.
He's a lawyer. Martin Sheen's a lawyer.
So is someone a dentist?
Probably.
Or there's a hygienist?
Maybe.
There's dentistry in Catch Me If You Can.
Is A Serious Man the best dentist movie? Like Boy's Teeth?
Catch Me If You Can.
What about the Steve Martin comedy Novocaine?
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. There were a couple.
That movie's not very good. But,
no, no, not really.
Has there
no,
been a great dentist movie?
Has there ever been a movie about a dentist who's a hero, much like this film? You know what I mean? Like usually, if you're a dentist in a movie, you're playing like kind of a
really
twerp,
good question. Yeah,
right? Like it's kind of like you know.
Yeah.
Go to your job being a dent, fiddling around with teeth all day, a little weirdo.
It's a respectable upper middle class station in society,
right? But it's kind of like a thing. It's like, you got a boring job. And Little Shop of Horror is another iconic.
That's probably the
movie.
best dentist movie, right?
Is it safe?
Is that dentistry? You know, one could argue it's torture.
When you Google "Catch Me If You Can" dentist, it's very confusing results. So it's like a lot of people like.
I just want to tell you guys, I watched Ever Smile, New Jersey.
Did you like it? Go ahead.
No, it's really bad. Okay. I did think he was kind of charming in it. And
is it like a parody of this kind of movie?
That's an important.
Like,
you have to be charming as a dentist because you got to get people.
Well, he's trying to convince children to brush their teeth.
Yeah, for sure.
And
you're making this movie sound.
It's a very odd
he's
film.
In like the wilds of Patagonia with like toothbrushes.
It's in civilized society. He's in classrooms. Okay. It's not like in the jungle.
I'm imagining him in the jungle, just arriving at settlements, being like, I bring Oral B.
There's an important note to this movie.
Well, there is a thing in the plot summary that's about how, for a while, capitalism takes over his work, and he's like, I don't know whether I'm compromised by Oral B or whatever. It doesn't say Oral B.
But whatever. Big toothpaste.
Dentist.
Yeah.
Miramax also produced this movie.
Oh, interesting.
And so I wonder if there was a little bit of 1 and 1 here.
Like, hey,
we'll do
friend
Jim Sheridan's movie if
someone I
some
know
sort of package
has got this dentist project.
Ever Smile, New Jersey will not be going
okay.
And then here we go.
Right now it's
let's go. And
an
here
insane collection of films over a 10-year period.
He wins an Oscar for My Left Foot, and then it takes off.
3 years go by though.
Yeah.
3 years go by
because he
before
has
this
to
next
go
movie.
live in the woods.
Yeah, it takes a while to become. What is Hawkeye? Is that his name in Last of the Mohicans?
Yeah, Last of the Mohicans, 1992.
To David's point, there's just like a lot of people in Last of the Mohicans, and a lot of horses and other stuff. So it takes a while to have real people and things in your movie.
Is this his peak hotness?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is peak like marquee idol for him. A status he avoids.
You. Yes. Listen, it's great job.
Yeah.
So it's a really fascinating pivot moment in Michael Mann's career as well, because he's made Thief and Manhunter, and then he goes off and makes Miami Vice.
Right. Yeah.
And he's on Miami Vice for a stretch of time. He hasn't made a movie in 6 years between Manhunter and this movie because he's been working in TV. And
it's intensity plus intensity, like man plus DDL.
Exactly. Yes. Very the masculine forces coming together, but also a very firm rejection of a certain kind of like contemporary crime movie or crime TV show that he is getting known for. And for Daniel Day-Lewis, it's an American movie, and he's playing an American character set in a Native American world.
Right.
And so it's a major transition away from the fusty buttoned up guy or, the Irish artist. Like it's a big change.
But it's the kind of American he likes playing, which is an American from more than 100 years ago who has something of an accent, like it's something of a voice that he can do.
Right.
Like he's not going to just play, Joe Coffey.
He's not going to play David Sims.
Well, he could try.
Well, even there,
he's going to have to put on a few pounds.
He lived in the UK for some time.
Some English heritage.
We're getting there.
The story of a young blogger.
Yeah, we're going to do Politics Corner shortly.
Would that be a good film?
No.
Young David? The Life and Times of Young David?
There's moments you can dramatize, I guess. You could give it your best shot.
Last of the Mohicans is also a proving ground for Daniel Day-Lewis as action star.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing, is that this is an action movie in so many ways, and he's terrible. He's so credible.
Running.
Yeah.
Yes.
When he saves
Madeline Stowe, in that final battle, and is just absolutely, he's landing the punches. He's, and you like see the choreography, but also
he has learned and lived the choreography enough that it is credible.
Yeah.
And again, right. With My Left Foot, the transformation is so obvious. And so with this, obviously he looks great and he's got the hair and he's got the body and stuff, but like is where you start hearing about like, oh, no. He like made camp in upstate New York in the Adirondacks and he learned to build fires and carve wood. And like you start to hear this sort of mythic stuff about him.
Yeah.
Right.
My favorite story from this movie, we did Michael Mann on Blank Check years ago, is that Michael Mann was also insane. And there's a moment where they're like shooting through the night for some, big battle sequence or whatever. And then Michael Mann starts yelling like, turn that light off. What's that light? Like, who turned on a light? Like, and they're like, the sun is rising. Like, Michael, the day is beginning. Like, we cannot control the sun itself.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's the best.
This has never been
this
a big
movie?
Michael Mann movie for me.
Oh, sure.
Like in my Michael Mann rankings, this is not in the top 5.
Okay.
I think it's
Maybe
very
not
good.
top 5, but it's a pretty great rewatchable
I think when
rip snorting
we-
adventure.
Totally. It's-
Yeah.
When we did top 5 Michael Manns on Big Picture, I gave away my 5th spot to Chris.
To pick it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
What
I
did
was
he-
like, and we put in Last of the Mohicans.
Okay.
So I think
Yeah. Chris loves this film.
I felt that I needed to speak for Chris Ryan.
It's
in
very
this.
good. I'm not criticizing it. It's just not specifically what I connect with the most about Mann's films, which is I think he's like obsessed with the surfaces of contemporary life and the way that like we're all infected by it.
I mean, these are some, gnarly battle sequences though. I watched
Very,
this
very
on the
good.
train, like on the Metro North yesterday, and I was
yeah.
like, oh, okay, so there goes someone's head,
Yep.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Like, sorry.
It's incredibly intense. And Daniel Day-Lewis is very good. And this movie made $150 million
I was
and
gonna
it
say,
announced him
yeah.
as a big
Yeah, yeah,
star.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think it
it's-
has to be
yeah.
green.
It's
yeah.
It's
very,
an
very
auto
green.
green for
Yeah.
sure. 1993, 1 year later, his first collaboration with Martin Scorsese, The Age of Innocence.
Yeah, baby.
Green.
One of the great films of the 90s.
Green,
It's so
green,
good.
Green.
And it's so interesting because it was a movie that got an underwhelming reception at the time. And I think there was partly this sort of like automatic bias against like, oh, Marty, you can't pull this off.
Yeah.
And like
Wrong.
And I think there was a little bias against maybe Daniel Day-Lewis too that had mounted. I don't know, because it's a movie I feel like it arrived at its masterpiece status a little later.
I agree.
It's just because it's a quiet movie. It's unrewarding in a way,
It is about restraint and
Exactly,
repression
right.
and
It's about
longing.
people not
and it
getting what they
comes
want.
after, for Scorsese, I mean, like pretty soon after Goodfellas.
Mhm.
And
And it is obviously a kind of, not a rejection, but it's sort of like, I'm zagging.
yeah,
I'm capable
stylistically,
of
but
more.
also emotionally
Mhm.
and textually. And same for DDL in Last of the Mohicans. Like, he's not slashing people. He's like looking longingly in like an opera box.
Yeah.
I cannot recommend the Mr. Scorsese documentary that Daniel Day-Lewis's wife, Rebecca Miller, made more.
So excited.
It's so good, but it's a movie it's a doc that takes time to spend 7 minutes explaining why The Age of Innocence is such a triumph.
Right.
And what an
It's so
incredible
wonderful.
conceptualization
And Rebecca Miller
of a
directed
novel
it,
like this.
And she's like, and Daniel Day-Lewis, this guy really rocks. He's great in it.
I mean, one of up until this press run for Anemone, he has just not given very many interviews in the
Is
last 25
he-
years, but he is featured prominently in this documentary.
that rocks.
And speaking really like just sincerely about how much he loves Martin Scorsese and
Yeah.
loves working with him, but also just like got his head blown off by
Couldn't
Taxi
do it.
Driver and whatnot. Anyway,
I liked it.
Big Silence guy.
I mean, you might imagine.
I
I bet you.
sure.
He probably vibed with Silence.
yeah. The Age of Innocence is wonderful. It's definitely going in.
It's so
Just-
good. I mean, maybe
He's good in it.
He's great.
I'm
He's
not
great.
sure that the movie, like, he's obviously the essential performer, but I don't know that if you had a different actor, it couldn't work. It's not one of those kinds of performances, I think in a lot of his movies, you'd be like, if you take Daniel Day-Lewis out, this movie falls apart. That isn't really true for this one. Like, if you'd put like a young Rupert Everett, would this still be a good movie?
No, because
you named an actor I don't love.
Well,
Sorry, Rupert Everett.
I like him, but Rupert Everett, I like him.
But what about like Colin Firth? He's a little
Again,
young, but
like they are people with this silly strain, right?
Mm,
They are
okay.
like, I mean, and I think also the Michelle Pfeiffer DDL chemistry, which is like wordless, but by nature of the project, is amazing and powerful, and he doesn't always have that kind of chemistry with other women stars.
She's also the best and is like still in her absolute groove, that kind of late, married to the mob until, I don't know where you cut it off. To me, you would cut it off the One Fine Day.
He can stand up against
Yeah,
her
he's
in a way that
amazing.
like I think Colin Firth would get blown off the screen by Michelle Pfeiffer.
Right. Yeah, sure. You need someone with a lot of on-screen integrity. I mean, it is I like him in a lot, but it is a Pfeiffer rider. You know, like that's where you come away.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Right. Thinking about them the most.
Yeah.
But maybe it was also just like there were too many costume dramas. Like, because when I think about like why did this bounce off people a little bit at the time? Was it just like we have all the Merchant Ivories, we had Dangerous Liaison? You know, we're getting too many of these.
Could be.
I don't know, but
very well could be.
It stood the test of time.
Okay, green
for age.
In the Name of the Father, the same year as The Age of Innocence.
Yeah.
And this is his second film with Jim Sheridan.
Mm-hmm.
I was just listening to a guy named, I believe his name is Brian Flanagan, who runs Largo in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah,
he was on WTF.
On WTF, right.
And he's a legendary figure in Los Angeles because he's been running Largo for all these years, and he's Northern Irish. And he said he lived through the Troubles, and he said this is the best film about the Troubles.
This movie rocks.
It's an amazing film.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. It is undersung. To some extent now.
It is. Why do you think that? Why do you think it doesn't have as much of a strong legacy? Because in the 90s, it felt like an announcement. In my Irish family, this was a very big film.
Well, I would also just say the 90s were the peak of, you know, like the final like era of the Troubles, number one. Like I remember we moved to England in 1995. The Docklands bombing happened shortly thereafter. And I was like 9 years old. They were like, yeah. There's still like bombs that happen. And as a kid, I was like, huh? Like, you know, like,
right.
But there was just that wave of Irish, like present, you know, political, like the Sheridan movies and The Crying Game and, you know, all the, right? Like it was this like wellspring of creativity. And obviously there was so much like human suffering and injustice to document. And this is just like a really great sober look at it, you know, to like and like at sort of a narrative that I feel like anyone can understand. I mean, I don't know what. Yeah.
It's a very quick turnaround from Jerry Conlon's autobiography, which it's based on, which is called Proved Innocent.
Right.
You know, about his wrongful conviction along with his father in 1974 of a bombing linked to the IRA and the dispute at that time in Northern Ireland.
Right. It's about the 70s. But it's not. Yeah.
But it is also, for lack of a better term, a regular guy role for Daniel Day-Lewis. Obviously, he's playing this kind of martyred political figure.
But he's playing a working class
guy.
Yeah.
A normal dude. And is very affecting.
Hangs out and smokes weed and, you know.
Gets in a bit of trouble. Like
exactly.
the whole way they get him, right, is that he like robs an apartment or something, right? He like, you know, gets in a little bit of trouble.
And it's funny because in recent years, we've seen Belfast and Say Nothing, and like this storytelling about this time in history is back in the news, I suppose. But this was one of the signature works of art about this time in history.
Yeah.
And it was like hugely lauded, right? It was like Best Actor. Emma Thompson was nominated. Pete Postlewaite was nominated. Best Picture, Best Director. Like it was a huge deal. And it doesn't feel like it is in quite the same conversation with the most iconic Daniel Day-Lewis roles.
I mean, he is regular, and as opposed to like a mythical historical figure, right? And then, I mean, this is, we love a courtroom drama, you know, but this is of like very vintage 90s. They don't make them like this anymore.
It's so satisfying.
And so satisfying, but for whatever reason in, you know, the letterbox halls of fame, that's not what it doesn't live on with the same weight as, you know, the big scale. Look at all of these people getting their heads chopped off, Last of the Mohicans.
I wonder if also it's because of what David was saying about Sheridan before, which is that he doesn't have this hallowed run in the 21st century of movies.
He's a vaguely forgotten auteur. I think it's like, again, 1993, it's like the Conservatives are still in government in England. England is still, I mean, of course, England now has no problems. Britain right now.
Seems like it's going
great
well.
country. Smooth. Running. Smooth. But like in the 90s, it's still like, Britain is the evil people who perpetrated, like the evil government that perpetrated a lot of stuff is still basically just in charge and quite hostile to Irish independence and like, you know, Northern, you know, like it's hostile. Like, and so there's still this kind of urgency
Right.
Versus like you watch Belfast now. Well, that's a bad movie. But like even say, where it's like, no, now it's a period piece.
Flanagan was very upset about Belfast. He was
That
like,
movie
why are
is
the streets so
garbage.
clean in this movie?
That
The
movie-
streets of Belfast are not clean.
I am something of a Branagh defender. Like I like him as like a goofy kind of high, energy. Like I just, he cannot do gritty realism or whatever the hell that movie's going for.
Who does he play in Oppenheimer?
Niels Bohr? Is he Niels Bohr?
Yeah, it's great when he shows up. And it's basically a sight gag. I enjoy it. I mean, we'll never forgive him for the Emma Thompson stuff, but
Sure.
Anyway.
I mean, I think, Kenneth Branagh a bit of an asshole.
Sure,
I mean, sorry.
yeah.
But like, as an artist,
I
I
don't know the man.
enjoy.
I have not spoken with him.
It's like I am Team Emma forever. Can we talk about Daniel Day-Lewis, a very English man, just being like
Irish,
being like the pride of Ireland.
Well,
And I know that that's
he
complicated.
Is of Irish descent.
Sure.
Look,
and
we claim him. I claim him
mostly because he like works with Jem Sheridan over and over again.
I think it's because of those 3 movies that he made, where he plays 3 very famous Irish figures, and his father was born in Ireland.
Yes,
and he wasn't. I think Cecil moved at a very young age to England, and then became, as you said, the poet laureate. So he's considered like an English icon.
Right.
This is what I wanted to triple check about Cecil Day-Lewis. But Cecil Day-Lewis was Irish and born in Ireland. Some of his family, did trace back to England. But he was.
That's true of all Irish, right?
Well, I mean, these islands are very near each other,
right? And it's fraught. I get that it's fraught.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's because he plays both.
We moved to London at the age of 2. But look, English. When I lived in London, you would meet these Londoners whose parents had lived in London for a long time, but say one of them was Scottish or whatever, they'd be like, I am Scottish, by the way. And it was so vital, and I understood it. Like,
identity bound, yeah.
Yeah, and also England sucks, and Scotland and Ireland rule.
Yeah.
And like, I remember as a kid, you moved to England, and there's such insane prejudice towards people with red hair there, partly because it's a small provincial country. And then like, I said to my mom, I was like, we call this kid like a ginger, and it's like loaded in a way that confuses me. And she's like, David, it's like 1,000 years of anti-Irish shit and Scottish. You know what I mean? Like what you are experiencing is like 12th century hatred of like Celtic people.
If you're wondering why I'm a little bit ornery sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am from a long line of men and women who are like, what the fuck? Get out of my country.
And I, as this outsider who lived in England, I found the royal family to be like this goofy institution that was kind of amusing and interesting. I did not have that like understandable like thing of like, why do they get to be in charge of me, even in a ceremonial way? Anyway, so like I understand like he has that connection to the country and it matters to him. And he's good at doing Irish accents. Like he's great at
doing Irish accents. He's so credible in this movie.
Right.
And In the Name of the Father, I think is going in automatically.
Yeah,
Oscar nominated, a great film.
Yeah, for sure. But I think Unheralded,
a bit unheralded. I hope more people will watch it now.
It's worth watching.
To me,
it's really
it
good.
is my favorite of the Sheridan films. Though it sounds like maybe
too.
not.
Yes,
No,
absolutely. And it is really watchable.
Yeah.
Also, you know,
it's 90s conventional, but serious and moving.
I have a very soft spot for In America, which is not a perfect movie, but has like these transcendent moments in it. But obviously, Daniel Day-Lewis is not in that.
Resonates very deeply right now.
Yeah,
a movie about it, coming to this country as an immigrant.
Yeah.
1996, The Crucible. This is a tough sit.
Yeah.
So I call this movie straight to homework. This is a kind of movie I call straight to homework.
Yeah.
Like where it's like the movie comes out, it doesn't resonate with me. It got an Oscar nomination or 2. I get it. But like, and then the studio's like, it's fine. It'll just play in schools for the rest of our life. Like that's what this will be now. This movie kind of sucks.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up. So in 2014, I went to England and I saw The Crucible at the Old Vic.
Sure.
Okay.
Who was
and it was Richard Armitage was John Proctor.
Sure, I could see him doing that.
And it was in the round, and the production design was incredible, and it was astonishing.
Yeah.
It's one of the best theater going experiences I've ever had in my life. The woman named Samantha Cawley played Abigail, who I was not familiar with, who I guess works in television in England. Stunning. There's a brilliant.
And so you've seen The Crucible work.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I read it in school like everyone else, and I think it's a profound work of art.
About,
you
guys know,
and also like it's about it,
story.
here we are again.
I got it. I loved it.
Yeah.
I think it's an essential text to understanding allegory for young, literate people. But I had never seen it staged because is there another film adaptation? There must be another film adaptation.
I think there might be one from like right when it came out. But I actually...
It's kind of surprising if there isn't.
Let's see.
But this is not a great movie.
No.
There's a French one from 1957.
Okay.
But Le Crucible. But maybe there isn't another film version that that's it. This was the first. And of course, Miller he wrote the screenplay and got an Oscar nomination, which was kind of one of those like, we're happy to honor a legend.
It's nice to have Arthur Miller at the Academy Awards.
It's sort of around the same time that Branagh gets the famous Oscar nomination for adapting Hamlet, a movie where he cut 0 lines. And they gave him a Best Adapted Screenplay nomination.
Now, here's the challenging thing about this.
Yeah.
Nicholas Heitner directed this movie.
Yeah.
You know what else he directed?
Yes, Madness of King George and Center Stage.
Yeah. So, and The Object of My Affection.
Right. And The History Boys, which another adaptation of
kind of a Dobbins guy.
I'm into it. Yes, but this one doesn't work.
Well,
Heitner
was...
casting Winona Ryder in your movie can really be a mixed situation.
And it's sort of at the end of her...
Not for me.
Yeah, but it is at the end of her...
Yeah. And it's like, I don't think she's totally wrong in this. And she is bringing something to the Abigail character that is like, teen girls in that situation like can be really annoying. So, respectfully, I was one once. So, and unbelievable. And it's playing with the text a little bit. But does she like stand up against Daniel Day-Lewis or Joan Allen?
Joan Allen is really good in this movie.
Yeah,
and it's
amazing.
That era where she was good in everything and was like this supporting I think that he is just fine. I mean, like he's all intensity. I just never really feel like he finds a guy in it. He's just delivering the lines with like a ton of roaring passion.
It's like it's all
he's fine.
Righteousness and no person.
Yeah, it just feels like they were like, can you do Last of the Mohicans guy? Can you do like long-haired kind of raw energy guy? I mean, I don't know what they said to him. They probably said more than that. I mean, they certainly said, meet my daughter, Rebecca.
I didn't revisit this film.
I did because if I had seen it, it was in school.
I
had no memory of it
as well. I can't remember.
Nicholas Heitner, to shout him out, did make a lot of good movies in the 90s, became the National Theatre Director when I was a teenager, London's National Theatre, artistic director, taking over from Trevor Nunn, who is this like very divisive, in my opinion, good, but interesting kind of guy. And the history, spearheaded a lot of really good stuff. And you've still
never seen Center Stage.
Nope.
He's never seen Center Stage.
Center Stage is a blast.
It's so good.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
That'll be really good.
And he was really
when
just
I watched Center Stage and Mamma Mia in succession.
It's kind of weird you've never seen Mamma Mia.
It
Have
is
you not
weird.
seen Here We Go Again?
Well, that would be an odd choice, right? To see
because,
Here We Go Again.
Mamma Mia is it's a calamitously made film. Everyone in it is good because they're having fun. It is a film that looks like it was directed by like a sentient jet ski. Like it's just like every shot is framed in a bizarre way. The lighting is bad. You're just like, what the
really
fuck
true.
happened?
It's like they are in Greece and they look like they are on like a soundstage in my backyard.
It's so bad.
It's really...
And then Here We Go Again is one of those things where you're like, Jesus, they already burned all the good songs. Yeah. They're doing this weird Godfather Part 2 like narrative. Like, I don't. How could this possibly be good?
Excuse me. And then Cher shows up.
No. The whole thing is, and then that movie is 40 times better than the first one. It's
Here We
so
Go
good.
Again?
Yes, so much better.
So you're a Lily James person.
No, I like Lily James.
Right.
Red-blooded American man.
Okay, sure.
No. I just think that movie kind of rocks and is way better made. And like, that movie's good.
It's okay. I mean, the original one has Meryl Streep screaming, "The winner takes it all," and Pierce Brosnan at the bottom of like on their way to a church,
singing like he's being attacked.
Like he sounds like a donkey in duress.
It just feels like there's like 8 people on like holding him while he's like, you know what I mean? Like that someone's trying to drag him into hell.
Right. But I mean, the winner takes it all scene is just one of the most incredible things that's ever happened.
I love those movies. They're special.
But then then the second one, and I'm sorry to spoil this for you, the second one, when Cher sings Fernando.
It's amazing.
And Andy Garcia's Fernando. Like, I'm sorry. That is, that to me, that is cinema. You know, it's so wonderful.
As I always say, Andy Garcia plays a sentient bottle of red wine.
Right. But like, that is so much more fun than The Crucible. You know, like
it's definitely better than The
Way to
Crucible.
bring it back. Thank you for bringing it back.
Red
for The Crucible. 1997, The Boxer.
Right.
This is the third and final film with Jim Sheridan.
And it's his first retirement. It's his first,
That's right.
I'm gone.
Sure, I'm going to make shoes.
Yes.
And it was I was 11, I lived in England, and I remember the mythos of like, he like learned to box. Like, look out. He's boxing good in this movie.
Yeah.
And then.
Do you box?
Me, no.
No, I don't know.
Not yet. No, I haven't tried that one.
Have you ever been in on
I
that?
did box in high school, but not since it's become like the cool
Like
workout thing
competitively?
that men
the
do.
way to exercise. Right.
No, just
I
like
swim.
recreationally in
I'm a
school.
swimmer.
So The Boxer, he did learn to box. This movie is kind of an inversion of In the Name of the Father, where he plays a provisional IRA volunteer who goes to prison, and he gets out of prison and is going straight
at like age 19.
As a kid,
like he was right. Yeah.
And he gets out and he's trying to go straight and he's trying to stay out of the fight.
Yes.
While fighting.
Right. And it's about like internecine warfare within the IRA, which was like a big thing. It's a real thing, like of like, right, how there were splinters in the IRA versus of like, how hard do we go? How, you know, how do we fight for independence? Like, how much sort of terrorism do we do versus like, and that's all interesting. It's not an uninteresting movie. It's sort of like a
solid,
relatively engaging
I think
drama.
it has a great final reveal.
Yeah.
You know, like the ending is very exciting, but it is lesser than In the Name of the Father to me. That being said, I don't know if when you look at the Hall of Fame, is this one of his best performances because of the transformational aspect?
Whatever. No.
He's pretty good in it.
You guys are
Yellow.
you're gonna Yellow. Well, Yellow the
you can
Boxer.
yellow it. Emily Watson's good in it. Sort of nice
She's
to
good.
remember her peak. Like this is right post Breaking the Waves. She's quite lovely in it. But like I couldn't really tell you much about this movie and I rewatched it.
I didn't revisit it.
Like that really stuck with me.
Okay.
And it was, I do feel like everyone was a little sick of his shit at this point.
I think you might be right.
Like it's like playing these like very serious, very intense men. And, like he wasn't finding maybe the most engaging projects. And then he's like, well, I'm not going to act anymore. And everyone's like, all right, sorry.
5 years go by before Gangs of New York. So he returns a decade later to work with Martin Scorsese again. This is a Martin Scorsese dream project. He's been trying to get off the ground for 25 years.
Yeah, who are other guys who would have been Bill the Butcher? Like I feel because
I think De Niro would have made sense in the 80s.
Because there's so many versions of this movie that were theorized or whatever and never got funded.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, there is obviously something to that voice that he brings, which is this interesting kind of new century American. You know, it is not because he is not doing the British guy voice. He's doing the over enunciated American voice, the Bill the Butcher.
But it's the first Daniel. He's like Bane or whatever. Where people are like, wait, what's this voice?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then people start doing the voice because they're like, I never heard anyone talk like this before. Look, I am a passionate and huge defender of this movie. I think this movie is incredible.
Some things in this movie are incredible. It's a movie
minute
that
to about minute 172, for example.
So
I don't know how long
again, I
it's
will
long.
redirect to the Mr. Scorsese documentary where there is a lot of discussion about the ways in which the script is changing every day on this movie.
It had so many passes over so
and
many
you can
years.
feel it. And there's a version of the movie that Jay Cox wrote in 1982 that is a world, like an all-time masterpiece. But then it's a movie that was always going to cost an enormous amount of money to make because of its scale. And it's never in my favorite Scorsese movie conversation. I will say, I think Bill the Butcher is one of the greatest Scorsese performances in the history of his movies. You don't.
Have you all seen this movie 20 times, or am I the only one?
No,
I've seen it
so
5
many
times.
I got a Cameron Diaz thing. And Charlie's Angels was her last good movie.
If you got a Cameron Diaz thing, this movie is like poison to you.
Exactly. So
this is her trying
I am
a lot.
sorry. Charlie's Angels was a masterpiece, and then I had to get off the train.
It's kind of right.
I like
in
Cameron Diaz. She's just a miscast.
Yeah,
that's really
she's
all
a
it
bit
is.
miscast in the movie. It's in this run of interesting, like being to
The wine is
Malkovich. Vanilla Sky is the year after, or the same year. But like where it's just like, whoa, Cameron Diaz is doing something, right? Like there were like a few years of that. But that's not. This movie gets drowned in like the Leo hype, and
the movie only gets made because of Leonardo DiCaprio, because he wants to make a movie with Martin Scorsese.
Right, and Scorsese spies an opportunity.
Yes,
right.
and it leads to this long running relationship between the two of them, and it is Leo using his powers for good. I mean, that's really what it is. You know, even if the film doesn't totally come together, it's him doing this thing that we've been litigating this year with One Battle After Another, where he's like, I kind of only want to make movies that I want to see.
Right.
With directors that I think are interesting.
I'm no longer making like strategic. Yeah. So De Niro at one point. I think Malcolm McDowell, like way back in the day, but I think he may have been considered for either lead role. Like, I don't know. He would
have been a good Bill the Butcher.
Right. Like,
there's definitely some Alex from Clockwork Orange in there, the kind of sadist intensity.
But he's, to me, young David, I was like, I knew who he was, but I was like,
DDL.
He lived up to the hype of, oh, you don't understand. This guy's like a cage tiger, and like he's back, and he's playing the most ridiculous guy you ever saw. To flash to the future, he's kind of, in my opinion, playing evil Abraham Lincoln. He's got a big stovepipe hat. It's a Civil War movie, and he's just like, I hate everyone who's not me, you know, like, and he's, and
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I mean,
with
it's
doing
definitely going in. It was always going in.
He was gonna win the Oscar.
The America's Speech is like one of the great scenes in the Scorsese filmography. To me, it's just like it's a Frankenstein of a movie, but at a young age, it makes sense that it would just like overwhelm you because of it's so big and so intense.
But it was like he was going to win the Oscar, right? It's that year where everyone in Best Actor, he wins like a lot of the precursors and stuff. Everyone nominated for Best Actor had won an Oscar before, except for Adrian Brody, who wins. Right? Am I getting this right?
Interesting.
It was the year where DDL was the fave, and then you had like Nicholson in About Schmidt, Cage in Adaptation, and there's a Michael Caine in Quite American.
Very good.
Wow,
that was very impressive.
Thank you. And I think because all those guys were these like veterans, like, and because Adrian Brody was so, you know, and the Pianist just came on late and all that, and
they had also very recently won.
Yeah. And so Adrian Brody wins, but it was supposed to be his third Oscar. Not like in some grand narrative way, but everyone was kind of like, oh, I guess get out the way. Like Daniel Day-Lewis is back.
Yeah. And it's interesting that he's nominated for actor, because I'm not sure if he is the leading actor of this movie.
I think they probably ran him and Leo, but you're right. I mean, it's sort of...
That's Chris Cooper wins for adaptation, and DDL might have won there, you know, if he had run in there.
Yeah.
Category fraud will get you everywhere. Somewhere.
Like, until you win because of it.
That's right. Another 3 years go by. He makes a film with his wife called The Ballad of Jack and Rose. He's since married Rebecca Miller. She writes and directs this small drama. It's very unlike any other film he's ever made. Kind of like a curious, what is a reverse Oedipus situation?
Sure.
Right.
Medusa. No.
Electra.
Thank you. Starring
and
Catherine
Jennifer
Keener
Garner's in it, and she does
Belle.
fight a guy whose tattoos come to life.
That's right.
That does happen in the film Electra.
Colin Farrell. Sundance movie,
Camilla
small
Belle,
film, didn't make like a ton of waves.
I hate this movie. I think
Do you really?
Sucks. Yeah,
I
I've never
kind of like this movie.
I don't mind it.
I there's something about it that sets my teeth on edge. It's so interesting that the two times he's collaborated with a family member, he's played an off the grid guy. Like, he did this with his wife. And then, like 20 years later, his son is like another guy off the grid. And he's like, I fucking love being off the grid.
I love when you can kind of like read into the circumstances a little bit there. Why are they writing these parts for this man?
It's good, right.
A man apart, yeah.
This is a much, like an anemone. You know, he's playing a guy who's haunted by sort of specific circumstances. This is like Irish Mosquito Coast, where it's just like, why is this guy like this?
Yes.
He's just kind of a pain in the ass, and his family needs to be shot of him. He's charismatic in his way.
I'll tell you what, I see it as a kind of like post 60s retreat. You know, like we're talking about Bob Ferguson. You
Captain
know, like,
Fantastic, right? Was that
very,
one too?
Very good comp. Yes, very similar. Sort of like the world in the 70s broke my heart,
right?
I am retreating from it, and I'm going to protect my family. But sometimes that isolation breeds a kind of bizarre closeness that is a little bit toxic.
You know what the best version of that movie is?
I really like this movie. I'm surprised to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. But you know what the best version of that movie is?
What is it?
M. Night Shyamalan's The Village. One of the great movies.
Well, it's about a community and not a family.
But it's the same thing. It's about that thing of like, can I protect my kids from the world?
The heartbreak of the Weather Underground,
by building a fence. The answer is no.
Did they come out in the same year? When's the Village?
They're
04?
similar. I think Village is 04.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think it's going in because it's not considered one of his great performances.
No, it's pretty forgotten.
It is.
Yeah.
And it was not,
Camila Belle, very winsome, young.
an effective screen presence. I don't know.
She was around
She was
for
in
a
some
while.
horror movies, right?
Yeah.
Was she in the When a Stranger Calls remake?
Yes, she
was. That's right.
And
she was in one of the sister ones. There was one with sisters or something.
not From Prada to Nada.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that.
It sounds like a horror film in a way.
Right. She
doing
I would
well?
hate to go from Prada to Nada.
I'm scrolling.
You would. That would be terrible.
Horrifying.
I'm at Nada, so it's. I'd love to go to Prada. I haven't heard of most of these films in the last 10 years. They seem to be Netflix originals.
Jack Sanders has already greened There Will Be Blood.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that's acceptable.
Correct.
2007. He's probably got his pick of projects at this point.
Sure.
Multi-Oscar winner, multi-Oscar nominee. And Paul Thomas Anderson writes for him There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
Right.
His story about an
he,
oil man.
Was he? He's an oil man. Was he resistant to it? Like I can't remember if there was like that in the backstory of like PTA being like, I wrote this for you, and him being like, well, don't write things for me.
When he was on Bill
Day-Lewis.
Simmons' show, we asked him about it, and we tried to get him to kind of demythologize some of this.
But PTA and not
Paul Thomas Anderson,
Right.
not Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis doesn't want to talk about like this or.
I mean, it seems like he would have today.
86 Celtics.
Well, you never know. I mean, you never know.
He's a Millwall fan, which is really interesting because
what's Millwall? That's a soccer club.
Millwall's a soccer team in East London that is, even by British soccer team standards, notorious for hooliganism.
Interesting.
And really intense fans. Their stadium is called The Den. They're not usually a Premier League team. They tend to play more in the second tier.
Yeah.
And that's one of those places where it's like, yeah, you go there if you want a stabbing,
see.
And so it contributes to like this intense image you have of him of like going to Millwall and like drinking Bovril and screaming.
Well, there may not be a more intense character on his CV than Daniel Plainview.
I mean, this is it. This is the calling card.
Yeah, this is a guy that it would be tough to like get a cup of coffee with, right? Daniel Plainview.
Well, he could be charming in a paternalistic way when he wants something. Until he kind of loses his mind. But you see part of what I think is interesting about this performance is it is a true spiral. Like from start to finish, he's obviously a man possessed from the very first time that you see him. But he does have to use his wiles to get into these communities and get the things that he wants until it goes batshit.
The heartbeat of the movie, the tenderness with the boy and then the way it changes. And I mean, it's such a good movie. I haven't watched it in a few years. I figured I didn't need to revisit it to agree that it is a green.
We're being confronted by what is the best Paul Thomas Anderson movie because we've been doing 25 for 25.
Right. Mine's coming up in this discussion.
Okay. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
But this is his opus. This felt like the kind of like, he's got the early messy masterpiecey kind of things. Then he does Punch Drunk Love and everyone's like weird. And like, I mean, I love that movie to be clear, but like,
rules.
and then he comes out with this and everyone's like, yeah, whatever. Canonical American great director.
Yeah.
Like,
This is an instant classic.
You're not going to be deposed from that kind of rank now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
like a movie about America, like.
Right. It is a capital T themes movie that also features, I think if you just polled anyone who would define themselves as a movie fan, what's the best movie acting performance of the 21st century? This is going to come up a lot.
Yeah, of course.
It's obviously Otto Green.
It's also a capital M memes movie, though. It's like, it is like younger people on the internet are like, this voice, these lines, the milkshake scene, like whatever. Like there's stuff that younger people are responding to.
There's nothing I like more than "Give me the blood, Lord" when he's receiving the body of Christ.
Do you like this movie, Amanda?
I like it. I admire it. I accept it as a masterpiece.
But it's not like
we did PTA rankings and it's not, updated PTA rankings.
Yep.
And it doesn't speak to me the way like the back half of the career does, which features women. This
movie is light on ladies.
Yeah, it's pretty closed off. It's like, and like again, it's a masterpiece. But sometimes I'm like, that seems like a you guys problem, So like, and it's
all right.
So it's going to be interesting what we decide to do on 25 for 25.
It sure is.
Yeah.
2009 9. The film is called 9.
Yep.
Yeah, of course. It's a sequel to 8.5, baby.
I mean,
That's why it's called that, right?
It
You
is.
guys know that, right?
how does this
is it
happen?
a sequel?
It's not, but the title 9 is a jokey reference to the
Sure.
fact that it is 8.5 as a musical.
Yes.
So talk me through this.
Well, so I really love the musical 9. I'm a Broadway musical nerd.
All right. Do you also like Wicked?
I do. I'm not a huge fan of that show.
Okay.
But I do kind of salute its enduring power in a
Sure.
way.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the
it
movie.
means a lot to a lot of people.
Yes.
Okay.
But 9, I saw Antonio Banderas play this role
Mhm.
in the Broadway revival. The original was Raul Julia, who it was in the 80s. I'm sure he absolutely freaked it. You can listen to recordings or whatever.
Yeah.
But Banderas did it in the early 2000s, right around like when I'm sure this started to generate. And fucking rocked. That's the one with Jane Krakowski. She won a Tony. And why not just... I remember when this movie got announced, I was like, Antonio's right there. You can use him. He good at it. Instead, they cast Daniel Day-Lewis. I think he was a late addition, right? Like, wasn't something, maybe someone dropped out? Like, there was a bit of a weird genesis to it. And this movie's directed by Rob Marshall,
The
who
men in
made
contention,
Chicago.
The men in contention for the role were George Clooney, Javier Bardem, Banderas, and Johnny Depp.
On May 14th, 2008, Variety reported that Daniel Day-Lewis was in talks to star as Guido Contini, the film's lead character, after Javier Bardem dropped out due to exhaustion.
Sure. Okay.
Sure,
I mean,
yeah.
I think it must have, right. For some reason, Day-Lewis like caught wind of this and wanted to do it. And I'm sure when Day-Lewis wants to do a movie, it's like when Katie and Kyrie Irving joined the Nets.
Yeah.
Where I think the Nets were like, we didn't realize we were even, but like, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, Daniel Day-Lewis? Okay. And maybe no one thought to sit him down and go like, do you like singing and dancing around and stuff?
I don't even really think that's the problem with the movie.
No, it's not. I was going to say, the main problem with this movie is that Rob Marshall directed
I
it.
was going to
the
say,
problem with the
how does
movie.
he say yes to Rob Marshall?
It makes no sense. This movie is
I don't get
this
it.
musical is adapted by Michael Tolkien and Anthony Minghella.
Right.
If you just let Anthony Minghella make this movie,
I would agree
isn't
with
this
that.
a much better film?
Well, Minghella died. When did he die?
He died right before this
It's
movie
right
was
around this time, which was very sad. He would have been better.
He would have been perfect for
Had
this.
Marshall just done Chicago and Memoirs of a Geisha? Is there a
Yes,
yeah.
no.
So
Those
like
are his two
obviously
films.
he had
He is
successfully
more credible than we view him as now.
He had
But
very
if you-
successfully brought Chicago to the screen. I'm not denying that.
Yeah.
That movie's enjoyable. Memoirs of a Geisha is a trash fire.
Yeah.
But I guess it had made some money and was a big Tony
some
project
Oscar
or whatever.
nominations, yeah.
He comes to 9, which is a musical I really adore. And he's like, what if it's like what I did with Chicago where it's like a bunch of fucking catwalks? You know what I mean? Like he has no further take, I feel like visually. And you're doing a musical that is related to 8.5, which is a fairly visually dynamic movie.
Yeah.
That's kind of well regarded in
It's
the
kind of-
world of cinema.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the ingeniousness of making 8.5 a stage musical,
Right.
I understand completely.
It's a really
but
fun
as soon
show.
as you
Yeah.
make it a cinematic experience, you are burdened by the
You're in
history of
trouble.
8.5,
Yeah, of course.
and you have to try to reinvent it. And the problem is his conception of reinvention is an artificiality that looks cheap.
Yeah.
And the movie looks cheap.
It looks really junky. He can't shoot musical sequences. It drives me crazy because he's a great
He's made like 10
choreographer.
musicals.
Yeah.
And like Chicago, again, I will sort of put aside, but ever since then, he cuts into the action constantly. He won't let you like enjoy choreography, which makes me so crazy.
It's insane.
He gets handed $200 million budgets by Disney every few years to make dog shit. I'm really going after
I've talked
Rob
about it
Marshall,
on the show
every
before.
single person I've ever interacted with who's interacted with him is like, he's a really nice guy.
Of course, everybody loves
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah.
He
Everybody that
rocks.
works
It's
with him
lovely to
loves
work
him.
with,
Right.
but
Yeah.
they don't look good.
His last few movies are The Little Mermaid, Mary Poppins Returns, Into the Woods, and Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger
Like,
Tides.
When Mary
And then
Poppins
9.
Returns is
That's a nightmare.
your best of
Yeah.
of your recent efforts, like you're in trouble.
Yeah. I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I guess so.
This is not going in the
Not
Hall
going
of Fame.
in, no.
2012 Lincoln.
Yeah.
What a banger.
It
What
really
a
is. It's a
banger.
banger.
What a banger. I told this story recently. CR and I went to Ye Rustic Inn, which is a dive come hipster bar in Los Feliz in LA.
You don't have to say that out loud.
But that is what it is. But Chris and I have been going there since the
Not
day
bad.
we moved to the city.
Okay.
When we found ourselves there one night a few months ago, and it's a sports bar renowned for its wings.
Yeah. Sounds good.
It was very crowded. I think we had just seen a movie together and we went to just get a beer. And all the TVs were playing, NBA, hockey. And then on one solitary television,
sneaky little screen
against the wall on the far right was a muted version of Lincoln. And there was about 22 minutes left. And Chris and I just sat there and watched it. No captions.
It's like,
we just looked at
some
it.
good blocking.
It's your version of, you think we need one more? You think we need one more? Okay, we'll get one more. This is how you two express your love to each other.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, obviously we didn't get a chance to hear Daniel Day-Lewis's performance when we revisited it. But this is an amazing movie.
Immense power.
This is another one where they are just all playing dress up. And with anybody else, it would have been, and honestly,
it's kind of a Boys and Their Toys movie in some ways.
Same cast, but with a different Lincoln. They all do look like they're in the history pageant in 7th grade or something,
Yes.
mock Congress or whatever we're doing.
Yes.
But
okay.
Because you're willing to go on you're like, okay, well, now Daniel Day-Lewis is going to be Lincoln. And I'm used to that at this point. And he apparently his voice did sound like that. And so he went to the Library of Congress to hear the recording or whatever,
Sure.
So
he brings president. You're right. He brings presidential gravitas. That is true. But Lincoln rocks. It's one of the funniest movies ever made. It every time they're in Congress, it's just about Tommy Lee Jones basically calling people snakes and worms. They're just by the way, all Congress was the ugliest man in the world just spoke, and I condemn him to hell.
That's different from right now. You're saying?
Right? Yeah, seriously. And then everything in the White House, it's basically it's dark as fuck, right? Everyone is cold because it was cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's wearing carpets. Lincoln's just walking around covered in blankets. He'll sit down and the great David Strathairn as William Seward or whoever, some great actor as one of his cabinet is so what do you want to do about the Civil War? He's I had a client once who had a pig, and they're no, shut the fuck up. Shut up. This is the best thing about this movie. They're not sitting being tell us stop telling your dumb folky stories, asshole. There's a war. And he's they're an old mill. It's the best.
I really relate to that.
It's the best.
I really do relate to it.
And then of course he'll have these moments where he
he
lights it up, right? Where he gives you this sort of
the thunderous speech.
Yeah.
right, the man of immense character who is but it's all about the dirty work of government that went into getting the amendment passed and all that. It's not a movie wisely that's he was a country lawyer and then he
This is also the point where I remember where you hear a lot about the method, and it's did he not use electricity for the entirety of the shoot or something? I don't remember.
He very famously, people have
right.
told the stories of addressing him as Mr. President,
because Adam Driver is in that movie, Jeremy Strong, all these young actors.
Another one of those Spielberg things too, where it's you just plucked out the 5 most important up and coming actors for small roles here because you just you knew, your casting director knew,
right?
Okay, Lincoln is going in. Not hard.
It's the best. I'm honestly going to go rewatch it now. I didn't because I've seen it so many times.
Please don't leave until we finish the Hall of Fame.
I gotta go. I gotta go watch. We're almost done. This is the crazy thing.
There's only 2 more movies.
We reach his peak, and then it's basically just every 4 years he would make a splash.
Yes. He won the Academy Award for this film.
He did,
and rightfully so. And can you recall the nominees that year?
All right, so it's occurring
in 2013.
Yeah, is it 2012 Oscars? No. Bradley Cooper. For Silver Linings, Daniel Day-Lewis, because it was one of those things where it was we're not debating this.
This is a good lineup.
I don't know. Give me a hint. No, because the other movies that year, it's Life of Pi, Argo. The PTA film, of course, is it's the Master. So Joaquin. Great performance.
Yep.
Bit of a ham sandwich, if you ask me, but still a great performance.
But that's what we like about it.
Right. What else?
Hugh Jackman in Les Mis.
Another film Sean has never seen.
I've not seen it.
What have I done? Sweet Jesus, what have I done? The thing about Hugh Jackman is I love him as a star. And that movie is stinky.
That movie is so bad.
But it was his first nom, and you were kind of good job, buddy.
You're going to have to see it now for the Amanda Seyfried of it all.
I know.
Oh,
'Cause
she's
they're-
all right in that movie.
She's all right. And there are like a couple moments in Anne Lee where they're like too close to the Tom Hooper like close up as she's singing, you know, and I'm just like, you don't want to get away from her.
I've
but
never
she's great.
seen any of her singing performances.
Yeah.
That's so
that's
funny.
right. Oh yeah, Mamma
Right?
Mia,
Yeah,
you'll have
you
to do
got-
it too.
And then wait, is there a fifth?
Denzel Washington in Flight.
Oh, pretty great performance. And
performance,
one
yeah.
that there was the briefest sort of like, should we just give
Should
Denzel
he
another
win?
one?
Yeah.
But, you know, this was the Lincoln win. I think it was the first Spielberg acting win ever,
That's crazy.
which is one of those like wild statistics. Like an actor had never won for one of his
Wow.
movies. And it was also, it was like, you know, twin powers unite. Like he just hooked up with Spielberg to do an Abraham Lincoln movie. It sounds like fake,
yes.
right?
And
And then
sounds
the
like
movie
something
came
you
out
hear
and
about
people
on
were
the
like,
studio.
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
rocks. And I feel like its reputation is good. Like it's like it's
it did
actually
well.
grown.
It was a
Yes.
hit. It was honored.
It was a big hit.
But it is weirdly now reverse culty.
Yeah.
Where
Well,
it's like it's
this
got
is
like a lot of
happening
heads
with-
that really
you know
love
what
it.
fucks
All
Yeah.
late period Spielberg.
Yeah,
right?
same with
And
Bridge
it's
of
like,
Spies.
Very true.
And now it's not even getting
Yes.
really honored at the Oscars.
True.
They're
Yes.
just like,
Yeah.
well,
But his late
shrugged
style
to-
is
yeah.
like, let's not, please stop ignoring this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is, nobody does this.
Right.
Okay, 2017 Phantom Thread, your favorite PTA movie and your
Absolutely.
favorite
and my
PTA?
favorite PTA
Absolutely.
movie,
Okay.
yes. But you know, like I put one battle at two, so we can.
That's
as
Amanda.
time,
we got the same top two.
As time goes
Wowzers. I mean, obviously a great film, hilarious comedy
But
about
that's what
about
it-
being
that was the
married.
whole
funny,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he finally can be funny.
It was the whole thing
But
going
he's
into this
being
movie.
funny by
The
being
people
the
are
old
reacting to
British
him.
version of
Right.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yes.
Chic.
Yeah,
Whoever invented that word should be
Yes.
spanked in public. But I remember like the trailers were a little misleading and were basically like it's about this fucking genius guy, tortured genius.
Right,
Like,
right.
okay.
Yeah. Here we go again.
It is that though. Like
course.
everything that
Yeah.
it pitched itself as, it is that.
It's got all
and
of
if you
that.
choose to view it that way, you can, and it's good. But the intent is obviously multi-level.
But I just remember they screened it at BAM. It was the last. There's always the last film you see before you vote at the New York Film Critics Circle. Like they sneak in the like it's wet off the press, off the printer, right? Like you got to get in front of this one before you vote. There's always something. And I went in. I remember not dreading it, but being kind of like,
Yeah.
why do you make this like dressmaker movie? And then like 2 minutes in, I was like, this is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like
Yeah.
this, I can't believe I'm laughing so much. I'm having so much fun. And like, immediately you get the tone. You're
Yeah.
not like,
Well,
am I weird for thinking this? But like when he's doing the big breakfast order or whatever, you're like, no.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
This is
Leslie
what we're.
Manville is queening out.
There's something
like,
very Cheshire
Yeah.
Cat about the
Yes.
whole thing.
Yeah, I remember I was at the Arrow and it was the asparagus scene where like the whole room figured it out.
Right.
And it was like actually, and the laughs just like
Do you have a
started
gun?
rippling. Yeah. Yeah. But like the thing, he is really funny and he is being funny by playing that uptight, like DDL British character.
Right.
But like, he knows he's being funny.
Totally.
He's just doing his version of comedy.
They get
That's
what they're
the
doing.
thing. Yeah,
It's just-
so
no, go. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's amazing. It's such a wonderful movie.
it's just so interesting that this was the movie that broke him. Supposedly, right? Like that he had such a
He
tough
just got
time with this
burnt out.
character.
Yeah.
Like, and he generated this character with PTA or whatever. And he was just like, yeah, it was just too much. And I'm like, that movie would energize me. Like, it's so wonderful and fun, but
he's kind of throwing himself on the pyre
Right.
a little bit with like, him becoming sick in that critical stage of the movie. And then everything with the mother figure that is being generated.
Mhm.
All that stuff is very weighty. It still is your old school Daniel Day,
Yeah.
learns how to become a courtier. Like that whole thing is really intense, even though it's hilarious.
Mhm.
The best.
Okay, so that's going in.
Oh, Couturier.
Couturier,
Yeah,
sorry.
I was like, he's a courtier? Like,
2025, Anemone, not going in.
No.
no, it's not.
I'm glad he's back. I would like him to keep working.
The poop speech is good, but
Poop speech is good. He looks good. He looks great. Like,
He
It
looks
looks
he's,
very,
that's
very,
cool.
very healthy, very
Yeah.
virile.
Right.
Okay, here's what we have.
okay.
I think we have to make a nominally easy choice.
Okay.
In green already, confirmed. My Left Foot, The Last of the Mohicans, The Age of Innocence, In the Name of the Father, Gangs of New York, There Will Be Blood, Lincoln, and Phantom Thread.
Oh.
That's 8
we got
films.
8 already.
Yeah, we got
Right.
8.
Okay.
We have 4 yellows
Okay.
remaining. My Beautiful Laundrette,
Yeah.
A Room with a View, The Unbearable Lightness of Being,
Mm.
and The Boxer.
Okay.
Now, we've already got 2 Jim Sheridan movies, so I suggest we remove The Boxer.
Yeah,
Agree.
I think that's an
no
easy
one's very
cut.
enthusiastic about it.
So it's basically, I think I'm going to argue for My Beautiful Laundrette for sure.
Yeah.
As an iconic early movie, as a breakout movie, as a well-remembered movie.
You know I'm on board with that.
1,000%.
And so now we're between Lightness of Being and Room with a View.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the star role, but, not the best remembered versus the good supporting, better movie, but
supporting.
Is he what's remembered for it?
I'm inclined to say The Unbearable Lightness of Being.
We knew that about you.
This is a 2 hour and 45-minute historical epic about agony and lost love and lost power. And he's at the center of he's holding the movie.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Binoche and Lena Olin are wonderful in this movie. A number of great performances.
Is shorter, but who's to say it's not about the same stuff?
True.
I just mean his part in it. I mean, he's the third lead, but he's like the fifth lead.
Yeah, no, he's less vital to Room with a View. I would pick Room with a View, but I don't really care.
I mean, I just like A Room with a View more. But
But that's not what the Hall of Fame is.
No, it's not.
The Hall of Fame is not the Hall of
You're not wrong.
The Hall of Fame is the Hall of Fame.
Stars and Bars? No, okay, fine. Yeah.
Lightness of Being. Lightness of Being. Fine.
Oh, thank you guys.
Czech Doctor Who fucks.
Yeah.
That's nice. The Czech
But
Doctor Who fucks.
You are sort of a Philistine for not understanding A Room with a View.
No one ever said I don't understand it. I don't, just because I did not prostrate myself before it.
Is your favorite Merchant Ivory? If you have one.
I remember Wings of the Dove making a big impression on me as a kid.
Great movie. Very sexy movie.
But yeah,
it's a good movie.
I also enjoyed Jefferson in Paris.
That one I don't remember very well.
That's
Nolte as Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
I'm in Paris.
What are the other canonical? There's a couple of major ones.
Remains of the Day and Howard's End.
Oh yeah, those are both wonderful. Yeah,
they are wonderful.
Those
Though
are great.
and this is really disrespectful to Emma Thompson, I'm still more partial to the Howard's End remake.
The Kenneth Lonergan one?
With
that's very good.
With
Haley Atwell.
and my wife Haley Atwell. Yeah.
That is
Remains
that
of
was
the
very
Day
well done.
is pretty legendary.
Remains of the Day holds up really well because
that's probably the best one, right?
The Nazi subplot in it is hits right now. I recommend watching that movie.
Yeah. But again, I haven't seen all that stuff between like 70 and 81.
I saw Le Divorce in the theaters.
Absolutely.
So,
I was there with my mom.
Yeah.
That was the best. That movie is not that good.
No, it's not good.
Do you feel good about this Hall of Fame?
I mean, I do. I think he should feel good. But
I think he does.
What a
I
career.
hope so. I hope he's happy. I hope he's happy.
I think he is.
But I mean, this episode to me was just going to be a more fun way to talk about his career. I didn't think there was going to be much drama about the Greens. Yeah.
There's not, and there wasn't. And that's okay. These are not about drama. We're building something.
Well, it's the same with my drafting strategy. There was no antagonistic behavior for me.
You were very kind.
Yeah.
You had the turn.
I did have the turn.
Which is a nice place to be.
I was where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
That was where I wanted to be. I was very happy. I really did not want first pick.
No,
that
it's
was
hard
deadly.
with that many people.
Hard with that many people and with a category that broad.
Chris made a choice.
But that's why he's Chris.
Oh, it was great.
That's why he's there. Really good stuff.
Thanks, David Sims.
Of course, thank you for having me.
you.
I'm glad you guys put up with me. I'm a big fan of the show, and it's really nice to be on it.
Well, we love you. We love Blank Check, and we hopefully we'll appear on Blank Check at some point in the future.
2026, guys, look out.
Thanks to our producer Jack Sanders for his work on this episode. Thanks to Amanda, of course. Next week we return with number 9 in our 25 for 25 countdown. It's a good film.
Don't remember what it is, but I'm excited to watch it again.
We'll see you then.